Now I'm asking my WhatsApp people tonight to kind of get involved on the phone lines, right? Because Conga Jesse can't hear you when you WhatsApp. He want to hear your voice, right? That B can't hear you when you WhatsApp. He want to hear your voice. Gangsta Pastor want to hear your voice. All right, 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. So many things happening in Jamaica. But I believe that among all of the crazy things and not so crazy things that we report on a weekly basis, what happened the other day would be the strangest. Is that, because someone says certain things are going on in Jamaica a long time, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know. So it's strange to me. You know what I mean? And I think it's strange to a lot of other people as well. I want to get to the root of it, or I want to have a conversation that will get us on the road to the root of what's happening in Jamaica. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Big topic, people. And I'm trying to find out where the best way is that we should start, right? Let's assume that nobody has any clue about what happened in Jamaica. So let's not assume that everybody's listening really knows the story. And let's take it from day one. And let's see if we can, get to where we need to go so we can have some great conversation. Once again, one of my goals here tonight that I have these three intellectual guests in studio is to, in the 11 o'clock hour, examine whether there's a thin or a thick line between cult and church. 718-554-8598 is that number. Sherry.
Yes. So, a bloody ark, all dressed in white and soaking in blood, was the scary scene on Sunday when the shocking news of a cult in Montego Bay began to spread about human sacrifices. When all was settled, it was revealed that a church which was led by Kevin Smith, who advertised himself as a bishop, had called on his followers to meet him because the ark was leaving. They were told to pack their bags, sell their appliances, including fridges and TVs, because he said people were spying on them through the TVs. Leave their cell phones behind or wrap them in foil paper and lock them in their cars, aka no cell phones allowed in the church. They were also told of animal sacrifices to be done and that only the pure bloods will be clean enough for travel on the ark. I'm quoting now. He told us to take out loans, bring the money to him, or to buy food because the Lord spoke to him and told him that something is coming. He also said that we should all get into the ark because a lot of things are going to happen and the coronavirus is going to kill a lot of people. We believed him. The standard entry fee was $100,000 and a few members who were given a bly, but nobody entered for free.
Stick up in. So there is money involved.
There is money involved.
There is money involved, right? And I think that tonight, because when you listen to, people speaking in the streets and you listen to some of the media, it's a piece of the story. So hopefully we have enough time to kind of put all of the pieces together. So there was money involved.
Yes.
The members of the church was paying up to $100,000 for
each person.
For each
right.
For each person. And it is said that he had a lot of members.
Right. And he sent the invitation out to 144.
144 people were invited to to board the ark, right? Yeah. As it has been introduced, boarding the ark. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? I woke up one morning and
Jamaican.
This was all over the news, right? Woke up one morning.
By the way, it's Jamaican dollars.
Jamaican dollars, yeah, 100,000.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. B. It's very important to say 100,000
Right.
Jamaican dollars. Yes, it is. But 100,000 Jamaican dollars, a whole heap of money
A
for
whole heap
most
of
people
money.
in Jamaica,
Of course.
right? I woke up in the morning and this story was just like the story, right? And it was unbelievable to me. I thought it was a gimmick at one time. No, not Jamaica, something else, right?
Uh-huh.
First thing that came to my mind, right, was people in Jamaica watching too much TV. I'm being honest, right? But I didn't think it was this type of situation because we've seen videos of the youth them in Jamaica where they start to portray this demon-like behavior. I've even introduced a video here on SoundChat radio where one time there was this youth where I guess he was portraying to be a gangster and bad man, and he was eating raw chicken.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys remember. You saw that, right, Youngster Pastor? He was biting the raw chicken leg and he might eat it and tear it up with a buckle of Guinness, and he might tell you, say, yo, I saw them living in Jamaica, you know what I mean? And it was supposed to give you this feeling like them man are so wicked that they eat raw meat, you know what I mean? So I thought it was kind of like, at first I thought it was kind of like, you know, one of these youngsters doing some, you know, doing a look of foolish stuff. As the day developed, I realized that, nah, this is a church situation and this is a crazy situation. Now, before I introduce my guests, I want to remind you guys that those of you who are saying not in Jamaica, like myself, we must be reminded of the conversation that we had here at SoundChat a couple of months back, where also in Mobay, the authorities had to go rescue some children because there was another church/cult there and big men were marrying off the children. You don't remember that story? That was a big one. Major story that there was a church in Jamaica. I'm hearing now that church is not too far from this church.
Oh, wow.
Right? And they were marrying off the kids. Young kids were being married off to men, and they were living in there as cult or whatever. And when the police came to rescue the kids, there was a lot of resistance. Same like this situation. A whole heap of resistance, right? The police had to fight their way through people because the members of the church didn't want to give up the children.
Wow.
Right? I say this to say that now that I've been following the information throughout the whole week, I'm starting to get this vibe like people know this stuff is going on.
Oh, yeah.
This is not stuff that's hidden. People know that these things are going on, and the authorities are aware that these things are going on as well. Maybe, I don't know to what depth, but they do understand that these things are going on. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Continue.
Okay, so at the end of that night, 3 were dead and others injured, including one woman whose throat was slashed for disobeying the leader's command. One man was also found dead with multiple stab and gunshot wounds. Another man was found injured but not dead. He said they tried sacrificing him. Another woman escaped with stab wounds, and it was she who had alerted the police from the hospital. The third person who died was actually killed when he fired on the police and they arrived. Yes.
So when the police arrived to the church, somebody opened up fires on the police and the police killed them. So this is the story, just giving you guys background of what the conversation has been for the pretty much most of the week here in the Jamaican media. A lot of people are baffled.
Yeah.
I'm baffled also because of this situation, you start to see a whole lot of pictures of this pastor who they call
Bishop.
No, he has another name. Your Excellence, right?
Oh, yeah.
Your Excellence, right? I'm starting to see a lot of pictures surfacing. One of the most notorious pictures surfacing is a picture with Portia, ex-Prime Minister Portia, kissing him on the cheek, right? Yeah. We see with important people, dignitaries, we're also seeing him, you know, with high top-ranking artists, right? So this is not somebody where nobody doesn't know in Jamaica. This is clearly someone who is known, and this is clearly someone who, if he knows so much, then they must know that he's this bishop.
Right.
I'm not saying that they know what's going on in the church, but it is clear that he has some type of respect, is the word that I'm looking for, outside of the church, for whatever it is that he portrays that he does outside of church. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. I have 3 very intellectual and important guests tonight to join myself and Iron Voice and Sherry Morgan. Where do we kick off the conversation? Or those of you listening, where would you like us to kick off the conversation? Because Gangster Pastor, this is big.
Big.
And maybe I think you should kick off the conversation just because you are the pastor in the room.
All right. I was looking around for the 3 intelligent guests. I saw 2. But yeah, it's a serious thing that is going on. Very, very serious thing going on. And I just want to say, you know, and I know that you say, you know, the 11th hour, you'll talk about, you know,
the thin line.
So I don't want to cross that line too early. But let me begin by saying that what happened is absolutely unacceptable. As a Christian, I do not stand for that. I do not support that. This is not what Christianity is about. This is definitely, without a doubt, a cult, even though some will deny it. But there's a big difference between Christianity and cult.
Okay, 718-554-8598. Jesse, I see you creeping closer to the mic. Do you have any opening statements for this situation?
Yes, brother, give thanks. Give thanks to the Most High, Rastafari King Selassie the first. And I want the ones them to know that Christianity started in Ethiopia 200-300 years before Rome, and they must know that that's the original Christianity. We clear up that straight up. You see, Wagwana Jamaica, the question for ask is, how comes after them find this bastard and do them wicked things there, it's not on TVG or CVM? It's like a phone call was made and them depend Elaine Thompson and Jack Yor. Can you imagine the police and soldier approach an Ayabingi Center or Upper Bobo Hill and then somebody fire shot off at the police and soldier chain? No one would left alive in that situation. And here is a church where somebody shoot after soldier and police. What happened to the brother? There's no remand in custody. There's no, what happened? When is the court? When is the court date? When am I going to face the judge? You know what happened? This brother here is big in the club. This brother here is huge in the club. Remember now, Dr. Reverend Dr. Kevin, is it O. Smith?
Smith, yes.
O. Smith, right?
Yeah.
He's not a normal dude. Dangerously connected, yeah? And now you know what's going on.
Let's go to the phone lines real quick before I bring Doc B in. Call you live.
Good night, Chin.
Good night.
Good night, Ironmouth.
Yes, boss.
Good night to your panel. Listen, Jamaica corrupt, and that pastor in office treat him in life because he already planning for happen. Him set it up like that. In office treat him in life. I don't care who begs with me. In office treat he will sign life.
So he should go.
Plan that we happen to people.
He should go to jail for the rest of his life then. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Call you live.
Hold on. Let me tell you. Just agenda.
Yes, brother.
The first time me hear you on radio was one time when you come on Hot 97 and you gave off a solid reasoning pertaining to the Rothschild and all them match up Africa. All right, stop there.
Yeah.
You start here again for Mouta Baruka show and you hold some solid reasoning. But then when you go into your religion thing, that's why you mash up the whole wide world with stupidity. No, stick a pin right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're the family here with me want to talk to you personally. Just agenda.
Yes, brother.
Just say you're a rasta. Hold on. Please, I want to be respectful. I know that the reason right now, I'll go back to it. I know that the reason right now is pertaining to this Hitler right.
Yeah.
Hitler right individual. Okay? So we are going to go back to him. But just agenda.
Yeah.
That man is dead 41, 42 years. Just agenda. How come you as a Rastaman, you always come on the radio and I give off certain socio-economical talk pertaining to our people? Just agenda. How come we don't have a pantry? Don't coronation market, just agenda. And you know the whole of them millionaire artists, that's a number one. Just agenda. How come we not have a pantry in a trench town? Don't answer me now. Do not answer me now. Because you have the whole of the airwave. You're going to get for answer me, come on. All right. Now go come back to that talk, you know. This
right.
agenda.
Yes.
You know the reason why it's homosexual.
Arrogant, I need you to stay on the topic because the phone lines are ringing and people want to weigh in.
That is when I go back to.
Jump on it now. Jump into it now.
This agenda. You know why the individual here, this agenda, was able to sow seed and manifesting seed to the point where it had grown so solid and fermented in a Jamaica. And you must know, even though the only one down there right now, you have about another 200 called down there. You know why that happens, just agenda? It's because the Rasta movement from Muta grew up where the original Rasta man them coming from, the man who started Rasta, Leonard Howell. Okay, you know the reason why that has happened is because the original man is to burn the Bible. I want to take the grass cloth Bible and run with it the way you expect.
All right, 718-554. 718. Well, he didn't curse. He didn't curse. He used grass. Yes. 718-554-8598. The conversation is warming up already. Call you live.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Listen, I want to ask a question. Who does the leaders that are in corruption, who hold them accountable?
Well, we always say that the accountability in Jamaica is a problem. We always say that one of our biggest problem is that there's no accountability.
Because this man that is going on with what he has gone with down there, he needs to be held accountable. And nobody's going to hold him accountable because he has all the leaders in the palm of his hand.
Well, he's in custody so far. Right, I want to make you guys understand that he is in custody so far. There was pictures of him being hogtied. Now, I don't know how he's being treated in custody because I have some audio that I'm going to play later on in the conversation where some of the members of his congregation was bragging that they were treated like kings and queens while behind bars, and they were let out with just a ticket for breaking curfew. So they weren't even charged. In connection to anything else. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I want a quick point. I want to make a quick point. Look, we say we divide to conquer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with Jamaica as a whole, there's so many denominations, that division, right? And what they don't do is teach people to think for themselves.
100%.
And the problem,
I said 100%. I agree with you.
And the problem that we're having is that people are so lazy that they don't want to think for themselves. And this is the reason why anybody can come and tell them any garbage and they suck it up, and this is the end result.
All right, 718-554-8598. Doc B.
Waco, Texas. Georgetown, Guyana, Jamaica, the Crusades, the Inquisition. These are historical facts where things like these go on all the time. When you speak about the Inquisition, we are talking about millions of people who were sacrificed through Christianity. Millions of people. Many of us may not be aware of these reality, but it's true. You'll find the jihad in Islam. Millions of people again were sacrificed. We're talking about the synagogue, synagogue within the Jewish tradition. Again, millions of people were sacrificed. So sacrifice is a constant within certain religion, i.e. cult. Because when you go back into history, when we analyze the stench, that is how it is. And we is in denial for the most part. Because as an average Christian, the average Christian not going to want to look at the Inquisition. He's not going to want to look at the other issues like that we see. We are in denial. But these are consistent things that exist even today. As a matter of fact, when Catholicism would molest the children, sacrifice them from time to time, you know what them do? They move the particular individual and put them in another parishioner, another place to continue the same onslaught. These things happen every day in front of us. So don't pretend like I say this is anything new. It's not.
What allows people to gravitate towards these type of environments? Like what are we? And again, I see what Doc B is saying. It has happened across the world. But my question to those, because I want you guys to think, those of you listening, I want to get some thinking going, right? Provoke some thought. What allows someone to leave their normal life to follow these type of leaders?
Okay, so one of the things I realize that happens when people are hopeless, they hang on to anything they can. And right now, with everything that's happening, with the pandemic, with people losing jobs, with shutdowns, all of these things, it's as if they're looking for a hope. They're not getting it from the government. They're not getting it from the boss. They're not getting it from globally. Everything just look dismal. Some people go into depression. Some people hold on to any semblance of hope.
Let's note, right, that this church congregation has existed before the pandemic.
Right.
So this virgin has been doing whatever it is that he's doing way before the pandemic. So I want to put that out there because some people have been saying, oh, the people them lose their mind in the pandemic. No, a lot of these people were members for a long time. And this is why I want to walk you guys through the events that has taken place between that time and now.
Right.
One second, Bridget. The book, I hear a Bridget come talk about the Bible. In the Bible, there was a young man, right? And this young man was then going to sacrifice his own child. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it was the order of the day. He was instructed to sacrifice his own child. And when it was recognized that he was going to sacrifice his own child, you have a little goat appear. And him switch from the child to the goat. Why? Because it was a constant for sacrificial behavior to take place. It's nothing unusual, and people still do these things today.
That is not so.
Go ahead, Pastor.
That's not so. That was an exception to the rule, and he did not offer the sacrifice, and it was symbolic that, and it was not a goat but a sheep that was presented, which represented the sacrificial lamb, which is Christ himself.
This is going to be a great conversation. 718-554. Hold your asses, Doc B, because I know you love to argue. Let's try to get it around the table. Call it live.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
I feel like people actually go to the church and stuff like that because of the fact, we're going through the pandemic, like you guys said. And people really rely on their religion to go to feel comfortable and stuff like that. So since the pastor is there and he's given that opportunity, like, you would come to me to relieve your stress and to open up and feel more comfortable, and you're around more people who believe in the same thing that you believe in, right? So they're all coming in and they're all getting to know each other. After a while, you learn to trust somebody like this. And after a while, you don't know how far it could get. So when it gets to a certain point like that, and it gets so overwhelming to the point, okay, this is getting kind of weird. They don't know where exactly to stop. So I think nobody was expecting it. And they didn't realize at the time it was some type of cult.
Here's what, and thank you, caller. Here's what I'm trying to gather, right? What stops persons, Jesse, right, from realizing that they are now in a situation that is no longer making sense, that is far from reality? I can understand those going to church because you go to church, you look guidance, you want to be saved, as many people were taught, right? And you want to live the right way. But what stops you from really now taking how do I ask this question? What stops you from saying to yourself, yo, that pastor, you're full of it, This is foolishness. Like, what stops that?
Blind fear.
Like I said something. They have a saying, say the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. A Rasta, them put them thing upon in a Jamaica in the earlies. As my sister Angie reason, big up sister Angie. Brother, black heart man, them found children in the cane fields with them heart removed, them lung removed, their kidneys removed and their liver removed. Now, if you're going to take out those organs, if you go sell it on the international market, you have to have a surgical cut so you can go put into other goodies what them call bodies. No man can use no machete cut out heart and lungs, brother. But it was the Syrian doctors who were doing it. And what them do? Blame it on Rasta. Say a Rasta do it. And call Rasta the black heart man. Big up Jabone Wheeler if you sing that tune. It's what me I say, brother. So what me I say now today is, Funny it is, them put it on Rasta in the earlies. And look what gangster pastor.
Yes, Jesse.
Them put it on Rasta in the earlies. Now it turn around on the church. And
no, but hold on now.
Hold up, no, me not done.
Yeah, no, but you call me. I hate some of it.
1 second. Sister Sherry.
Yeah.
Remember this. You see that church there? The people are very affluent. Very affluent.
It's not a poor people church.
And a poor people church.
Right.
You know that church there? About 1.75 miles from my brother Palace. At the foot of Norwood. See? And I want to tell you, I'm not going to too much things. Because Dub Master said, don't veer off the topic, my brother. Stay course. But me have to say this still. You see that piece of land there, Chin? When it was offered to I, it was $7 million. Listen this good. My brother line it up. You see when them find out that the Rasta go buy it, them change their mind. I'm just humble seeing where. Seeing? Right there when you're going towards Cornwall College. Forward enough the foot of the hill from Paradise, the foot of Norwood. So I is close to the whole engagement.
Right.
You know the place.
Right.
I know the place.
Right.
So it's not, the area is not that rich. The people them come from a lot of places because
Right.
as me say, that man, Simit, live in a palace with him exclusive pool. And when him in there, him have a man with an umbrella over him and 1 dozen little boys around him. That man in him church, remember in a chin, everyone was found naked, with shirt around them, The soldier say, then what is a pastor do with handcuff behind him back and we never cuff him. The police never cuff him. So chin, you know what is what them call it in America?
Saddam.
S&M.
S what?
S&M.
S&M.
Yeah.
All right. It's a freak show. Something a go on. But the thing is, what me I say, Chin, me never see news media run from something like this before in the history of Jamaica. Them mouth zip. Nada. Them not say nothing. TV, CVM, TVJ. Remember, say me a family I had here in the whole of I. So what the quietness for?
But they're covering it. I'm seeing
Yeah,
it being covered.
yeah.
It is
It's a
being
lot of
covered.
coverage.
Maybe not being covered to the extent that you would like to see it, but let's give the media credit. They are doing the coverage.
Right.
You asked a question and you said, when is it, why is it that people don't recognize that after a certain point, like you would have said, but this man I know him I talk about? Because they're not reading themselves. They're taking whatever the man says and don't open the book that the man say him reading it from. If you give me this piece of paper, Chin, right? And you tell me, say, that paper they say, Chin are the man. And the paper say, Iron Vice are the man. If me never look on the paper, Chin are the man, And that's the point. When you see these people veering off and doing all of this madness and them is quote unquote supposed to be in these positions and these people following them, it's pure ignorance, but it's volunteered ignorance. You understand? Because if them did read for themselves, them would know that nothing couldn't go so. You can't fool somebody who knows,
I want to answer 2 questions. You asked, why is it like it's not just a pandemic? Because what we need to realize, even us we had months of conversation about the crime that's happening in Jamaica. It's not something that's just happening. Hopelessness has been in Jamaica for a while. What is happening now is a pandemic has intensified it, and they literally just use this kind of like an opportunity. And there's one other thing I want to say, and I don't know, this is kind of like gangster pastor realm, so I'll mention it and I know he can probably go into it. The reason why people find themselves into situations like this and they don't even know how to come out of it, when this kind of thing, what we're seeing right now is not something that's temporal, it's something that is spiritual. It's on a level where it's like people are making covenant with demonic entities and they become entranced into certain things that they're not seeing. What their family members are saying to them, they're not understanding. They're operating in something that is higher than them.
And my thing is, what puts you in that place? Let me give you guys some facts for the conversation, right? Members are now reporting that the leader sometimes in one day made from 250,000 to 750,000 Jamaican. This is a day. He was charging $350 US for spiritual healing, right? Now, he traveled And I just want to give you guys background so we can have a great conversation, right? He traveled a lot and would often get a party upon his return. So he did a whole heap of traveling, which he has on his social media and that he's a world-traveled bishop or whatever, right? When he came back, the congregation gave him parties, right? He did nothing himself, which Congo Jesse just said, right? He had someone to dress him. He had someone to undress him. He had someone to wipe his face. He had someone to open his car door. He had someone to feed him. He also had someone to carry an umbrella over his head, right? Even when he was in the pool, right? Many people in the congregation referred to him as Daddy, is what he was called by his congregation, right? So this is, some unusual behavior.
Baptisms are usually done at the seaside, so it's very hot. Somebody would always have an umbrella over his head. When he's going into his car, somebody opens the door. It was very worship-like.
Sandra, a former congregant of the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries. Assistant Commissioner of Police, Clifford Chambers, yesterday said Mr. Smith is being investigated for several offenses. However, he declined to give details.
Last year, March, 70 members were moved into the church. So March of last year, he moved them into the church. They were promised a seat on the ark, and each of them were to pay 100,000 each. Jamaican, right?
From last year, I advertised the ark.
Look like I'm from last year, the dancer promote. Dancer promote from last year. Right? They slept on concrete floors and barely had enough to eat. He fed them mackerel and bread. And they all complained of hunger, right? They were also made to pay the church light, internet, and water bill, which he told them came up to 200,000 Jamaican dollars, right? One man admitted, I didn't have 100,000, so I ended up paying 20,000. But I know a lady who paid 300,000 for herself and her 2 daughters and her granddaughter. But most of us paid 100,000 per person, is what this person was saying, right? He also said, it was rough. We were treated badly by people who he had as missionaries and ministers. We were getting 2 dumplings with the mackerel and gravy for dinner. They had us sleep on the ground, and they were cooking like 3 tins of mackerel for 70 people.
Wow.
So, Jesse, you realize that Anasa church are run. That is not a normal church.
I hear what you're saying, a gangster pastor. I there to defend Rastafari. You see me I say, because gangster pastor, listen me I say.
Yeah.
If Rasta try that in a Jamaica, a massacre. Number one, no one would leave that church alive. With them the soldier and police there. Everyone would have dead in there. China lie me I tell?
I don't lie you I tell.
All right, so that me I talk about, brother.
Let me go back to the phone lines now, because I want to keep it active. I want to get everybody involved. Call you live.
Hello.
Good night.
Yes, the word occult. What does the word occult mean?
Youngster, you want to take that?
Any deviation from the norm.
Sorry?
Any deviation from the norm.
A weird sect.
Yeah. All of that.
Well, when I do my research, the word occult is means for secretive. When you have a set of people that are in a secret congregation and they do their rituals. This was not a secret congregation. People are aware of what they were doing. So, in my point of view, people need to be responsible for their actions.
So in a cult, they don't need to be, in a secret organization, they don't need to be responsible?
Listen, what I'm trying to say to you here is that what is happening with this pastor, it wasn't a secret to anybody. They all know.
Did you know about it?
When you say they know, are you saying the members of the church knew, or the members of the church knew?
That's secret.
What is doing? It's not secret.
Okay.
Right? And People need to begin to take responsibility for their own actions. Because nobody hold a big stick over your head. I hold it, chain you up and tell you, go at that place, stay in that, get your money, go get such a person. Come on. When are people going to wake up and understand and realize that you had a brain for yourself? You need to think for yourself. You know, to do for yourself. Not depending on other people to do for you.
All right, 718-554-8598. Call you live.
This may not have any real relevance to anything, but I will say it anyway. This man originated in Glengoff, northeastern St. Catherine, and his mother originated in Mount Industrial, 5 miles from Glengoff.
Okay, 718-554-8598.
There's no relevance.
Call you live.
Mount Industrial, 5 miles.
Yes, Dad.
Yes, turn down your radio, listen to your phone.
Yeah, let's acknowledge here that the difference between regular religion, rituals and ways of worship, the difference is just the extremity of beliefs. Extreme belief can be a cult. If you think about it, the Rastafarianism is considered a cult. You know, why do you think they were so resented by the so-called elitists in Jamaica?
On that note, I call in Doc B, and Jesse Gender to answer you. So he says the Rastafari movement was considered a cult, or should be considered a cult.
Even though that's why them children the other day.
But he didn't say it should be. He said that is what took place.
But he says even no.
Even no, that is correct. Because depending on the views of the individual, like I say, brainwash. Brainwashing is the biggest issue now. Because these individuals were really brainwashed. And many of us are brainwashed. And the problem with brainwashing is the victim of brainwashing is the last person to recognize that they are brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else around them recognize it. But the person who's the victim don't know it. Yeah. And that is what's happening in most societies. And that's why I use the example of the Islamic example of brainwashing. I use the Christian example of brainwashing and the Jewish example of brainwashing. These are the three major religious groups.
So,
anyway.
There was a time, right, Doc B, when there were a sect of Rasta who didn't bathe. And that was their... Oh, you mean nothing no go so?
Virgin, what you talk about? Stop Rasta.
Do you know them?
Of the spring, brother.
Do you know them?
Yes, man.
Yeah, where them come from?
Well, I don't know where they come from, but
So
I
you
know
know
them
them,
declaring that.
brother.
But I know them origin, but I know where them there.
Brother Rasta live at the head of the spring, brethren. Rasta them bathing at the middle of the river.
Come on, you know
what you talk about, brethren?
Listen, there was a time when Rasta, the only work he did was sell broom and drum.
No,
that
man.
is brother.
Baba Shanti started that, man.
Brother,
no, Rasta same way.
No, but you said, but that was not the origin of
Well,
Rasta.
we're not. But cult is not the origin of Christianity.
Where did Christianity begin?
Yeah, cult is not the origin of Christianity.
Where did it begin?
Cult is not
Where
Christianity
did it
at all.
begin?
They told you.
All right.
The example of Christianity, where many of the things that is encapsulated in Christianity came from the cult, and it was introduced as a portion of development to keep the people comfortable.
So where's the beginning of cult?
All right, make I say something now. Can I say something?
Yeah.
One of the greatest occultists is a boy named Queen James, who them call King James. You know him?
Yeah, man.
That did the last translation of the Bible where everyone have now. No one know of the Schofield. It is 3,000 translation of the Bible. And we have the one named Queen James where
1611.
everyone put them out. You know, sir, before that though. It was before the first slave ship reached Jamaica, 1515 with the Spanish. Everyone put them on it and swear in every courthouse. Who is Queen James? I don't call him King James. Queen James married to a man named Lord Buckingham. Lord Buckingham was Queen James' husband. Where does the Queen live in England?
Can I?
Well, up, my brother.
Right.
Buckingham Palace.
But
that's where the Queen resigned. That was Queen James' man. And Queen James' first book was Demonology, when the whole Europe used to worship the demon. And him translate the Bible where everyone have them handpan.
So can I jump in here, sir?
Jump in.
All right. The word you use is a very good word, appropriate word. You said he translated. Now I will not even question you on his sexuality or nothing like that. But when the mayor of New York is telling you that there's going to be a snowstorm, and he tells you in English, does it matter the sexuality of the person who translated to tell you that there's going to be a snowstorm?
That is a snowstorm. I talk about Bible storm. Brother, listen, brother. Brother.
No, but I'm talking about
you listen to me. My mother is a Christian, right? My sister a Christian.
Yeah.
My brother, when I'm Muslim. All right. Me have people around me a Christian. Even my sister-in-law out there, so is Christian. So Christianity is dear to the Jamaican uptick. So whenever have a man like Queen James now translate the Bible, yes, it is important for we say, what was his motive?
No, but the translator is not the writer.
Hold on a little bit. Where the Bible come from?
You know, so the writing of the Bible.
Where does the Bible come from? What's the origin of the Bible?
The origin of the Bible is different books that was written by the sages, you know.
Yeah.
No five writings is on the walls in Kemet, no five is on the walls in...
That's the writing. We're talking about the Bible itself.
The
where
canonization.
Where the Bible come. Where does the Bible come from to be a book that we revered today? What's the source of it?
Give us your answer.
No, man, it's not me. I am not a pastor. You are the one that professed it. Tell us where the Bible come from.
Well, the Bible, you mean origin or the
origin of the Bible. The Bible, the Holy Bible.
When they canonize it. Is that I'm trying to understand your question to make sure I'm answering correctly.
Are the information in the Bible?
No, I'm not asking about
See,
the
information.
I am asking. No,
it
I'm
seems like he's asking where
the Bible
compiled and put together.
Yes.
Okay.
When? Who did it?
Is it Oxford University or Cambridge?
No. It would be way before.
I'm asking.
I'm interested in Doc B's answer.
Let me get to the phone lines. It's something to think about.
The Bible.
No, but I finish my little piece and all that.
All right, hold on 1 second. Give us the answer, Doc B.
The Bible is a collection of books that white people make to turn black people into an idiot. So it has nothing to do with. Hold on, no. Let's go back to the history of it. You say you don't know the history.
No, I never know the history.
So then tell us when was the Bible introduced and what is the source and the origin of the Bible?
So the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, the oldest Bible in the world, is the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible. Are white people write that one there too?
Check it out yourself.
We just ask.
Check where the original Bible comes from.
Give us the answer.
I already did.
No, but that be, where were these white people?
Where them all over the world.
No, where were they when they were writing the Bible? So that's what me want to know. Because if we are talking about the book we're talking about Abraham, Solomon, Moses.
So where's Abraham? Who's Abraham? Who's Abraham?
Moses was a white man?
Who is Abraham?
I'm asking if Moses was a white man.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you who is Abraham.
No, but the reason why I'm asking if Moses is a white man.
Moses is a white man.
Moses was white?
Moses was not, is a black man. There's a distinction. Yeah, Moshe and Moses was a black man. So because you have African individuals and it was plagiarized and taken into a completely different story than what it was. No, we have been brainwashed by the misconception of these stories. So that's why I ask the question, what is the root of it? Because if we're going to profess something, it is important that we know what is the root of what we are professing.
Let me see if I can get in a phone call. Steam is coming out of the gangster pastor's ears.
And the place not being too close to me.
Yeah, Papa.
Yes, caller.
No, what I was saying is that this long time saying that Jamaica have the most churches per square mile. That is no indication of the religiousness of the people, you know. That was something that was imposed by the overseers of slavery.
Babylon.
To make
Vatican.
Virgil, to make the population of the slaves become docile. Because if they don't indoctrinate them by biblical sayings or by alcohol, they would rebel. So that's the nature. So that doesn't mean so because Jamaica have more churches per square mile, that means they're more religious than anybody. To tell you the truth, Jamaica is one of the most violent places, Virgin. I will see it. There should people in a church. The average Jamaican is not a church goer or prayer at night time or daytime.
All right. All right, 718-554-8598. Let me see if I can squeeze in the next one. Caller, you got 3 minutes. Talk to me.
Hello. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Talk to me. You have 3 minutes.
I am a brother from African descent, and I just can't understand. Sometimes we hear these things, and I just want to contribute to what is happening. And specifically, I'm from East Africa, and I've been listening. I live in the US. I listen to this channel every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to big you guys up for your contribution to whatever is going on. And I wanted to contribute and just say the discussion right now that is going on, it's not easy for us to kind of decide where the Bible came from and all the different other things. But what matters today is for us to kind of understand we have a supernatural being that controls the things that we don't know, our tomorrow and our waking up and our going home to heaven.
So in other words, God is God. That's one thing that we all know. God is God. There is a supernatural being that controls the universe.
Exactly.
All right. 718-554-8598 is that number. I'm tempted to jump onto another call, but I don't want you guys to get it cut off. Thought-provoking conversation today. I'm going to give you guys facts. We're going to listen to Jesse. We're going to listen to Doc B. We're going to listen to Gangster Pastor. Myself, Iron Voice, and Sherry's going to chime in. But we're going to give you guys a loud voice tonight on this topic. But I want to take it from different angles. I don't want to have because what we've been doing is listening to what's coming out of Jamaica. And we interpret peace. Mm-hmm. I want to give you guys as much as I can give you one time for you guys to really not only understand what took place, but try to figure out why it possibly took place. That's what the conversation is about. Because this, and I'm not an investigator, I don't live in Jamaica, but this is one of many. I can make that assumption. This is not the only cult. This is not the only person who's living a double life and doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. So we need to figure this stuff out, and we need to ask ourselves, is there a thick or thin line between cult and church? I'll be back at the next side of the hour. And for those of you who are just joining us, we're speaking about the church/cult and the sacrifice that was made in Jamaica that is leading all news medias. I know Congo Jesse said nobody not talk about it, but they maybe he feels that they're not talking about it enough. But it is being spoken about. The pastor, Gangster Pastor, what were they calling him? Your Highness or
Your Excellence?
Your Excellence. So he was being referred to as Your Excellence. I reeled off a bunch of privileges that he had in his life, based on how his congregation or church members dealt with him, right? We also spoke about the fact that big money was collecting, right? He was charging $350 US dollars for
healing,
spiritual healing and all that type of stuff. So and again, a lot of this, and no disrespect to Gangster Pastor, he's in the building. A lot of this sounds church-like. Right? The paying for the healing.
It's on mobile-like.
It's on mobile-like.
Scamming Agwan. Scamming Agwan. And other things.
And I love this, because Iron Voice gets very offended when you speak about the church. Right? And now he has
except on Thursdays.
Except on Thursdays, right? I know he has the gangster to back him up, so this is great conversation, right? So we hear about the paying of the monies, and we don't see that as anything unusual. Because people spend money in church, right? People feel that this is their place of worship. The individual who is known as the pastor brings them closer to God and gives them an outline of how to live. And some of them feel that he or she should be rewarded for that. So the giving of money in church is not unnormal, right?
Even though it is.
Even to me, it's not, right? I mean, we know that it's not supposed to be.
The way it's done, it's been abused.
The way it's done is being abused. Right. We also see the worshiping of the pastor, which is not unusual either, right? Which is definitely
of the pastor,
the worshiping of the pastor,
the leader.
But
Leader
it's not.
get worship.
I'm not saying that it's supposed to or not supposed to. I am saying that it's not unusual. It's really not, because there are some people
there are some
who really
people revere their pastor.
revere their pastor and will do anything to help the pastor out of any situation.
That's why I don't want
that the
nobody call
pastor's
me.
in.
Nobody enough to call me reverend.
Then it's
Because I
supposed
God alone for reverence.
So it's only pastor.
That's why I'm a gangster.
Now let me say this to kick off the conversation. As a pastor, what do you feel that the role of any pastor should be as the head of the congregation?
The role of the pastor is to teach them about God, right? Assuming that the pastor himself know God. So that is a very good place to start. Okay? Now he might have studied this book that we don't like, right? And from that book he's teaching them. However, I am more concerned about the responsibility of the congregants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Bible itself talk about some people in Berea, the Bereans. When the apostles who were the closest to the Messiah were telling to them, they went and searched the scriptures to see if what he was saying is true. People don't do that anymore. People have become lazy and they like to be spoon-fed. So they take whatever is feeding them, and now whoever realized that these people are so easily led, they find an easy way to manipulate them. And this guy definitely did that.
Hold on 1 second, Jesse. In your opinion as a pastor, right, if there was such thing as assigning the greater blame in this situation,
right,
if there was such a thing,
right,
would the greater blame be on the pastor or on the congregation who followed the message?
I would put the greater blame on the congregation, because first of all, that man is not even a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? You have shepherd and you have butchers. A shepherd leads the flock. A butcher tell them, says, cut them throat. This man was a butcher, not a shepherd. You have to know the difference. You know, the father said, my sheep know my voice. So there's a lot of underlying things behind this. Greed, which is a sin, is really below this, because everybody who invested those 100,000 is expecting to get some more. And the likes of them are willing to give money. It's a scam.
I'm gonna cut you. What number them use? Say how much people have up on the ark?
All right, 144, which is very significant.
All right.
Which is very significant.
Yeah.
In the 12 tribe of Israel, you know significance that 144 is, right?
Yeah, man.
So him even use a sacred number.
Exactly. Even though it's in the thousands, he used it in the 100.
You know it's 144. You know something I say?
Right.
All right, gangster. What color is Christ?
Well, you mean when he was on earth?
Yes.
Like you and I?
All right. Is he a Nazarite?
Definitely.
And what is the vow of the Nazarite? Thou shalt not
cut your hair.
And if him is black and him not cut him hair, how the hair look?
No locks, man.
Then chin. Chin.
Medea.
You know your gangster pastor say Christ is a dreadlocks, not the Congo.
Well, when I reach the Congo.
So
no, we are talking about in the Congo. Every man now use the scissors and comb in the Congo.
So
hold on, Jesse, right? Hold on. Now, pastor, you are the only pastor in the building, as that keeps reminding, right?
And I want to finish that one.
Before you finish that one, I want you to explain to the people who are listening to you your credentials as a pastor. That's very important for what you bring into this platform.
And I don't like to, but for the sake of the conversation.
Please.
So, 4 years of undergraduate study in North Carolina, got the bachelor's. Then I went to 2 years of graduate study in Ohio and got the master's in ministerial counseling and pastoral ministry. All right, so that's the qualification. But I also believe that I am called, right? And as time progressed, I realized that my calling. So the first of this month, I resigned from a congregation that I ministered for 25 years. I stepped down from pulpit ministry because I am directing more towards dancehall. I have a calling towards dancehall, and I'm trying to, as the commercial say, if you listen on Mondays, you know, I play that Shaggy song. I'm reaching people who don't go to church, because there has been a lot of misconception misrepresentation that church does. And of course, what happens in Montego Bay is only a reflection of this misrepresentation. Notice that it's really cult versus church. It's not cult versus mad people. Or, it's the church that takes the blame. And this guy knew the delicacy and the importance of church, and that's why he posed under that, because he can get away. And there's a lot, let me tell you, I'm the first to tell you, there's a lot of foolishness that go on in a church. A lot of foolish people are just symbolically being led like lamb to the slaughter.
Yes.
I'm going to jump in. Youngster pastor just come whisper to me here, say, know me from the Bingy Center, Scott Pass.
Yeah, man, Scott Pass, Clarendon.
High school brethren where we used to go to technical high school. So I'm going to say this to Youngster pastor now. On here, in the breakfast club, them have a thing named Donkey of the Day.
Yeah.
In SoundChat radio Saturday night, I'm going to bring up a thing named Jackass of the Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Sean Paul in front of the aggregation we call congregation and ask him, Sean Paul, we are doing a picture with that brother here.
No, but that doesn't mean anything.
But here's
brother, you can't say that.
Here's the thing, Jesse. Let me jump in.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, and because we've had this conversation already. Artists are artists. People come to them and ask for pictures. In most cases, you don't interview anyone before you take the picture. You clearly just take the picture with them and you go about your business. So, because Sean Paul's name is not the only name that's being called. But what I say...
What are the other names?
Where the football player...
Yeah, the football player, Portia. Right.
Artists.
But what I'm saying is simply this. Celebrities, part of their daily routine is to take pictures, Jesse.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it could be an innocent situation where Sean don't even know this man and know what he's about, but the man asked for a picture and he took a picture.
But in Israel, me not castrate him. Me say, front of the congregation and make plain, explain yourself.
But I think...
What is the surrounding of the picture? What caused that picture? Where you was, at the airport? What happened? Because this man proved to be a demon, brother.
Not before he took the picture, after.
Right. So again, I think that anybody who has taken a picture with that brethren doesn't want any part of what the situation is now. Right? 718-554-8598. Call you live.
Animan. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, good night.
I'm up on the Rasta on the platform. Gangster pastor.
Rasta my church thing.
Gangster pastor don't draw me. Listen, I want to know. My concern is, because as I told you several times, Chinaman, politics and religion are two things I'm trying to really talk about. But I'm very concerned about how can this happen to be existing in Jamaica. Jamaican people passing up. Listen to me good. This man don't live up in the mountain where they say, okay, I'm living on back bush and rate it, and nobody now go up there. So, based on what Justice said, in the right there. So, you're telling me nobody within that perimeter, nobody within that surrounding had no idea what's going on over that compound?
Yeah, man, them know some money I run.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's what I try to say. That man that have politician on him payroll, they have the police on him payroll. Money and leg off for that man to be
divination
for so long.
What is your name, my sister? What is your name?
Chrissy.
The man have little boys all around him. A slap left, right, and center. The man a slap the whole congregation. People, wife, man, woman, and children. You hear me? I tell you, in the church.
Yeah, me know that just about what I try to say is Jamaican people fasting up. They want to kill bro God because they want to party at the place of lockdown because of COVID. But this man allowed to exist right there. So, and nobody don't know what's going on.
I don't think people care, Chrissy. I think that's what it is. It's this whole business. If you want to go over there, so you go over there, so go do your thing. I think that it only became
family members care, Chin. You have your family, because you know, say, me have a few cousins, so I'm going to see them for a while, and me ask them. Nobody cares. You're telling to live in a society, Jamaica is a society that just doesn't care. And your life, you live it or you want to live it.
Honestly, I think nobody cared.
No. Chrissy, Listen, based on reports, a lot of family members were beseeching their relatives, and some of them telling them, leave me alone, you can't tell me what to do, I'm an adult, and they chose to do whatever. And a lot of them said, boy, we don't know what to do, so we leave them alone. We tell them there's something wrong with this church that you're going to, but they don't care.
Nothing wrong with the church.
Back to my
Everything
point,
wrong
Sherry,
with the
before
people.
we come off, Chin. Listen to me.
Nothing wrong. Oh, hold on, Chrissy, 1 second. You said nothing wrong with the church, everything wrong with the people. All right,
Only
go ahead,
that wasn't
Chrissy.
really a church.
A church is just a building.
No,
And
a
him are the only
church
one now.
is a person.
Yeah.
No, the people that goes into the church is where the corruption is, sir. When the
No,
building
but
erect,
the Almighty
never
don't
say-
live in building, don't dwell
It's
in
within
building
us.
built by
It's
hands.
that's what I'm saying. It's a person and their belief that everything
That
goes.
matters. That's the problem.
That is the problem. Listen to me before I go chink. How many people I call? Even if, that's why I said police upon payroll. Because if me, I look for my family member and me go to the police and say, the fees are something not going over there, you know. You know, see, so when them roll the man, they pay them off. They might make $1 million a day. There's too much damn corruption in the little country we call Jamaica. And it all comes down to being licky and pay off. Watch your case and say, nothing now come out of this. Remember me tell you, nothing now come out of this.
Nothing now come out of it. Big up, Chrissy. 718-554-8598. Now, the conversation can go a whole heap of different ways based on what some of the comments that Chrissy just made. I need gangster pastors to jump into this one. Jesse also. And vice, you can't stay quiet in a kaya churchy.
All right?
And also, you know, Doc B. All right, 718-554-8598. Let me just say this since Chrissy said what she said, right? Mm-hmm. The dead woman's brother said he warned her, but she got mad at him and the family. Mm-hmm. So the dead woman, the woman that got her throat slashed, right? Her brother is saying that he warned her, right? But she got mad at him and the family, right? She basically was saying that the man has godlike behavior, right? The man behaved like God, right? And the brother is saying something is absolutely wrong with that. He would often tell people to strip naked in front of everyone, is what the brother is testifying, right? Right? And he saw people just throwing down money at the man's feet, including dropping their whole wallets. So the brother went with the sister, who is now the deceased, right, who got her throat slashed, to church. And this is the behavior that he saw. And him warned him, sister, say, yo, something ain't right here, right? He also said that a year ago, his sister tried removing her mom and her son from her life insurance so she could put the cult leader on as the beneficiary.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? This is what the brother is saying about the lady's throat that got slashed.
Drop a bomb,
right?
the brother. They drop a iron vice.
Yes, sir.
Drop a bomb. Long drop us. Yeah.
But unfortunately, right, there was some errors on the form, so it didn't go through. Right? He also said that his aunt was there and watched them slit her sister's throat. Right? As she was among the 42 people that was
chosen.
No, the
Was
42 people that was in the venue at the time.
Right.
Right? Despite all that happening, right? Some members still remain extremely loyal to the fact that this man is a man of God.
Brainwash.
Take a listen.
Me alright, me nothing wrong with me alright. But now listen to everything you hear and believe, because sometimes people run with the wrong story and people say the wrong things and people accuse people wrongfully. But what I'm saying is that we have no answer for what take place. I was there part of what in the last part in the evening what happened. But all I know is I see mystery and I see God in action, what I witness. How can you sit down one place and one soldier and police, military, 100 gunshot go at you one time and not one shot touch the man of God? That is mystery. That's all me have to say. What happened is it is not spiritual. It is a demonic attack from some maroon people when car come the Saturday night. Me can't explain to you, but me talk to you. Listen to what you hear. But and everything you fi swallow and accept. But me alright still, me good. We get paper fi go a court fi breach a curfew act. We were taken to jail, we treated like a king and queen down there. Some of the guys them that was inside and so His Excellency still there. But just pray for him, so they may do Jesus and he may come out victorious. So we have to suffer with him and reign with him. Now so I go, Christ.
You hear that, Jabby?
Of course I'm good. I'm good because I'm alive
So
and
we
well
are
and God is here
Oh,
to
hold
carry
on.
through. But you don't tell me or you can't answer for me or you cannot stand before God for me. So allow me to make my decision. Me thank you for concern, but maybe the concern you have is not a good concern and is not a good advice. So therefore, me no want you sorry for me. I mean, I want you tell me what you believe in or who you believe in or who you trust. Because every man have to stand before God and give account for their own sin and their own judgment. So you can't be a judge, neither for me, for Bishop, nor nobody. So therefore, work your own salvation out with fear and trembling and leave God people alone and mind your own business. That's all me have to say. You're a friend, but you can't tell me what to do with my life and how to live my life. And I said, so Jesus, when you had 12 disciples, then betray him and then turn them back on him. You can't tell me if you turn my back on my bishop because him same one when deliver you from your bleeding where you when come out there with the bleed like a cow and you they go to church too much here and he never deliver and him deliver you so you can't say that. So you can't tell me what to do with my life and how whom if you believe in because you don't know what take place. Sorry if this disappoint you. Goodbye.
Okay.
So that's the testimonies of people who are members of the congregation.
You know where you get that from? Where you get them something from?
It's it's circulating. Yes, it's circulating.
But here's the thing, Chin. First we hear brainwash, definitely. We hear mad people, definitely. But we also hear people who are disillusioned. These are the same people who believe in the Obia man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Obia man do for them, and you can't tell them so the Obia man not do for them.
You know what Obia man is?
Oh. You?
The whole situation where you say.
Oh, then an Obia man that
He's an Obia man.
Yeah, man. But I don't understand how you guys are equating him to the church. Because everything he does prove that he's not following the order of the church.
But reports are, and again, I'm just speaking of reports. This is not me bunning out any institution, right? Reports are that he's a bishop from a church. So he is presenting his organization as a church.
But then the question is, can the Oberman have a church?
Of course. I mean, he can call it whatever he wants.
They call it whatever they want to.
The Rastaman can have a church. They say that Upper Bingia church or the Rastaman church. So
The
we're using this
atheists have
term
a church.
loosely. You understand?
They have demonic groups that have devil churches. They have bishops too. They have ministers. They have deacons. It's church.
All right, let me go to the phone lines. Call you live.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Youngster Pastor.
Greetings.
I want to start with you. I have a question for you. You said that the congregation or the people of that sect should not be blamed, right?
No, I said they should be blamed.
I'm sorry, they should be blamed, right?
He said the greater blame should be placed on the congregation and not the pastor.
I'm not the pastor. Okay, so let me ask this question. When we meet a individual, anyone, and they say, my name is John Brown, and this is what I do. I sell this, I do this, this is what I do. And you know this person a couple of years, a couple of days, whatever. And, you know, they prove themselves to be that which they are.
They prove themselves to be what?
A seller of books, whatever.
Yes.
The next thing you hear that this person is a murderer, a criminal, and you can vouch for this person as being that this person is who they say they are. The politicians, whomever, when you meet someone or you come to know someone, they tell you that this is who they are. They tell you who they are. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you, for example, you are a good person. You bring about the word of God. So you say yes?
Yes.
And people who are speaking to you expect them to follow your word, yes?
No, not my words.
Not your word, but the word that you got from wherever you got it from, yes?
Yeah, but I don't get any other word than the written word.
Well, I'm just saying, you got the written words from wherever you got it from, but you
They have access to the same word that I have.
I'm sorry?
They have the access to the same word that I have.
But yes, remember some people now, you ever hear the saying, we say, school them, fool them, and rule them?
Okay, I've heard that.
Okay, so this is what it is with what happened to these people. Now, within that organization, it's my opinion that you have people who are more learned, people who are into that organization for a specific purpose.
Right.
So those ones who realize that the ones who not so savvy or, don't want to do any research for themselves will control those ones. Plus, I'm not saying that totally that the people should not, research and do reading for themselves. I'm not saying that.
So here's the thing, though. I understand clearly what you're asking, and I also agree with you. But the problem with this guy is that, and I was telling Doc B during the break, that this guy's not even preaching Bible. This guy's preaching cryptocurrency. This guy's preaching about stock market crashing. But he's very intelligent in his presentation of these things. And he says, as a result of this, so he's preaching about, Sherry talk about hopeless people. It's not financially hopeless. These people are holding on that the end is coming. The vaccine is the mark of the beast, blah, blah. And now he has the hope.
He has the ark.
He has the ark to take them away.
And they are going to jump on this ark.
Come on. Now, if you read the Bible, you know that is not happening again.
That be, I want to hear your voice.
See, that's part of the manipulation process. See, when we look at this guy clientele, he must promise them certain things to deliver. You just hear a woman come in and say somebody did a bleed and him help that person. Right? So if there is example of him doing things like those, that is more an attraction for others to say, yes, this man, something of what?
Definitely.
So what's happening, and that's why we say brainwash. And that's why we say obia. Because obia and brainwash, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because one get brainwashed, and many times is the Bible that is used,
Hello, obia man use the Bible too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So from when we are saying no, he does not. He does.
He does not.
In his Bible, uses the Bible, the Bible, to accomplish what he wants. Empress, read something where him said it. Probably you need to read it, man, so the people can hear him.
All right. So this is a description that he gives himself. He says, I am His Excellency Dr. Kevin O. Smith, D., Minister, Crown Bishop, and End-Time Nabi of His Imperial Majesty, Conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Jesus Christus, the one true and living God, is involved directly while you are in fear and worry and low vibration and are around you, and your years and successes are not yet done with the energy of both endings and new beginnings. Israel's God is Israel's King, Yeshua, Jesus, Christus, Rastafari. This is all
999. Finish it.
999.
Yeah, but here with me here.
This is a holy confusion.
Well, but me a Rasta and a Christian alone and I beat.
Congo.
Right. That's how he describes himself.
Thank you, Doc Baker. Me a Rasta and I.
Hold up, my brother.
No partial, man.
Hold up, my brother. That brother here look some of it. I look at that. Well, I could big up the great Peter Touch, because Earthstrong was the 19. That brother here look a rock a run today. Exactly. There was no rock. What kind of Rastafari matter about? And him done, I say, Jesus Christus.
All right, Jesse.
Yeah.
That quote that you just made, looking for a rock to run to and there is no rock. You know that's a Bible quote.
Brother. Don't tell you, Say, you see Bible, if you take Queen James version, you can go in a confusion. There's a couple thousand versions before Queen James version, brethren. Queen James translate the Bible using Shakespeare and them to solidify and validate the slave trade. Slave, obey your master. Deuteronomy.
That's not a translation then.
Well, no. Deuteronomy 20, love, verse 47. Ye shall be taken by ships far west to be slave to all nations. You see, first time I read that, brother, not knowing everything, me I said, John, no. Then I and I the Israelite then can me say Israel, you know, that a Queen James and him generalship, you know. Him give with the title because we are the real Israelites, right? And then ye shall grow your garden and not eat from it. Ye shall have a wife and not have her at your own pleasure. She shall be used by the slave master at them own what them want to do with her and that go on the slavery. So Mr. Man now go dash away the baby with the bath water.
No.
Jabi am a teacher and me and him can't talk about that. I just say there was words before the Caucasian Queen James. Cause enough man say Queen James is a black man too, you know, you have to know them thing there, you know. Saying at the same time there was words before Queen James even born.
Hold on a little bit. Make an interject for a second. You say this James business.
Yeah.
The James business is just a title. The man named Jimmy Stewart. Okay, from the Stewart family in Britain.
That lead to Bush Stewart I had.
All right. No, real talk.
May I ask.
No, they're answering you yes.
Bush Stewart's a part of the 21 family. You know?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Sister Angie said you guys must stay on topic.
We're not going from the topic, but that's a reasoning go.
All right, so let's go back to topic. Cult leader was known to the police. There's plenty of blame to go around for a cult having flourished for so long, and especially one belonging to this so-called bishop. What many of you probably aren't also aware of is that this is not the first time such a cult has appeared on the radar in Montego Bay.
The Vatican is a cult.
There was another in 2019 right next door. And that this cult wasn't in the middle of bushes, but was on a regular road in a known community in the constituency of MP Horace Chang, who is the Minister of Security.
Stick a pin.
Stick a 10 penny nail.
Just to try, just to have, I want to give you guys a visual. That's why we're having this conversation, right? So the Minister of Security, his constituency is being occupied by a cult. Right?
No, two.
Or more. Two or more.
A couple cults.
Yeah. And the Minister of National Security doesn't know anything about it. I just want to point that out.
But here's the thing, Chin. Was he identified as a cult prior to Sunday?
No, he wasn't. But again, we would suspect, me knowing how Jamaica run, that we know there's something funny go on over there.
But religion itself can be funny. In many degrees, religion itself can be funny, but it doesn't mean that it rises to the level of a cult.
When religion starts to become questionable, in my opinion, so I know that these people are going to church and then pass me out every day and them go to church, right? Whether you believe in or what them believe in or you don't believe in it, you leave them alone. That is for them thing.
Right.
But when you start to things that's outside of the normal,
but I don't think it was seen. I mean, ladies going to church in full white is normal in Jamaica.
Right, but what about the people who said that they went to the church with relatives and realized the hanky panky are going in there? What about the people then who said them see the pastor with the look of boys them?
No, but that's
so
going
people
in a
outside of the people outside of the church knew what was going on in the church.
People know. Yeah.
I think deviant behavior has become acceptable, especially
by who?
By everybody who see it and
by humanity.
By humanity.
Okay. Yeah.
Rasta not accept no deviant behavior.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
All right. I'm going to ask one question. Let me ask a question before you go through, Sherry. And I need to ask this. Because I ask three, I'm an extended family member from Florida to New York. What color is Christ? And them say white. So I want to say this now, because this is very important. Saying you answer a while ago, gangster pastor.
Yeah.
Saying?
I answer correctly too.
I answer correctly. Most Jamaican checks say Christ is white.
Because of the image that was portrayed.
Michelangelo.
Well, that's what I'm saying now. So, I and I have erased that.
Well,
Dr.
B.
Is with knowledge.
Image is imagination.
Read
the Bible.
All right.
Because Isaiah is how I know, say him black.
All right, so let's proceed. You probably also didn't know that this man had 8 American tourists, including kids, in his house back in January of 2020.
Stick a pin, stick a nail.
10 penny nail.
Stick a nail, as Dr.
Global
said.
things, this.
Stick a nail, right? So, back in 2020, right? Because I told you guys I'm trying to put all the puzzle together for you, all the pieces, right? So you can make informed conclusions, right? Back in 2020, this gentleman bought a property.
He wasn't gentle.
Whatever, this rough man, this person bought a property in which the property was to be Airbnb'd, or he was Airbnb'ing the property or whatever. A group of Americans, correct, came to
8 American tourists.
came to Jamaica, and somehow they were all locked in the property. So he chained them in the property, right? They couldn't come out, right? When they asked the person who is the caretaker of the property to be let out, they were told that His Excellence gave strict orders that they cannot come out of the property. Well, not off the property, out of the property means the house. So they were locked in the house for some time. How did they escape? It was in the middle of the night, reports, and it was raining, and they threw their luggages and whatever through the window, and they were able to climb through the window and escape, climb over the 4-foot wall and escaped, and went straight to the police station and reported, right? So we may not have evidence of him having any issue with the law, other than this. But what we do know is that the law knows of him based on this situation.
Right. And what did they do after that report?
In Israel, this man is above the law, brother.
But we're going to get there, Jesse.
All right.
So I'm walking you guys through it. So he had a conflict that allowed him to come into crosshairs with the law.
An encounter.
Read on. Encounter with the law.
So, just repeat. Reportedly, they had rented the house, which was an Airbnb, but didn't like certain activities that took place, including monies being stolen, etc. So they decided to leave early, despite having already paid in full. But when they decided to leave, the overseer and helper who stay on the property told them the bishop said they couldn't leave, and when they went outside, they found the gate chained up with a padlock. So in the dead of night and in rain, they had to throw their 16 suitcases over the wall, climbed over to get out, and go to the police station. And I believe we have a clip. So we're going to play that
I just
clip.
wanted to repost this video because I wanted to bring some receipts and explain some things. And I wanted to be clear that we do not blame the entire country of Jamaica. We had an amazing time. Watch the entire video. You will see we loved Jamaica. There are good people and bad people everywhere. So this is not about the country of Jamaica. This is about the bad people that mistreated me and my family in Jamaica in February 2020.
They got us locked in this gate, talking about we cannot leave. Are you kidding me? Okay, you know what? We're going to start rolling these suitcases down. I tell you, these locked us in here. Let me tell you something. These people locked us in this gate. Let's go. This mother...
People inside.
Oh my God, this is against the law.
And we got it on
This is
video.
against the law.
We're not prisoners.
We paid for this. If we want to leave early, oh my God. They locked me and my family in this gate.
And wait till you see what happens.
We thought you was a good person. We thought you was a good person. They locked us in this house. Can't believe it. Oh my God, what's wrong with you? Who does that? Ooh, y'all going to jail. Y'all going to jail. We had to jump the gate. Ooh, you wrong though. You let Bishop lead you wrong. But you can't run our trip to Jamaica. We still had a great time, even though you devils, you demons. Ooh, so apparently this house was sold when it wasn't supposed to be rented to us. The new owner come here with some bullshit. Woo, they tried to lock us in the house. They turned the water off. But that's okay. We got out this mother.
After they locked us in, they said we didn't pay. Now y'all know Airbnb have to be paid in advance. That's a lie. Ridiculous. And we have the proof.
This is our receipt from Airbnb for $2,381.06, which we all know has to be paid in advance in order to access the property.
So we can safely say Bishop Agina.
Mm-hmm.
The man a thief.
And he was a general before this whole situation.
The man a thief, brother.
The man a scammer.
You know, same man scammer in our church, though. Who was drinking the blood out of the goat head? You know, when I touch that?
It was him.
The scammer.
It was him, the pastor. Right.
No, the scammer was drinking the blood out of the goat head.
Right.
Not
But
the pastor.
but there's a little bit more to this
The
story.
name of the scammer, man.
So the woman who organized the trip had put the whole thing on YouTube and even filmed the policeman at the station failing to properly handle the case. Because despite showing him the video of how they were locked in and have her 7 witnesses plus the cab driver who picked them up, the officer called the cult leader to ask him how he wanted to proceed with the matter.
Money man.
Instead of
money man.
jumping in a police car to head to the location to investigate what was happening. The officer also gave the man the option, asking him, "Do you want me to come to you or you're coming to the station?"
Privilege.
We have another clip, do we? Or we just continue? Oh.
From the Curra Gardens police station. All right, I am of the knowledge that you recently purchased a home, and there's some issue with some guests there now. They are checked out, and they are supposed to check out when? Wednesday. Okay. All right, where are you now?
Ask him, did he chain the gate?
You're where? You're at the house? All right, you want us to come to you, or you'll come to the station, because they are here.
Tell him did he chain us in the house?
They're here for what reason? They were chained inside the yard. They were locked, but the gate was chained up with padlock and chain. It's locked in the night and in the day.
We asked to leave. Oh, no.
All right. Because I'm not hearing you so clearly, I'd rather to speak to you in person, whether you come to the station or I leave from the station and come up there and see you. Say again? They have not paid?
He's lying. He's lying. Airbnb is paid for in advance. He's lying.
All right. For us to deal with this matter, how would you wish, or do you wish for us to proceed with this matter here? They need to pay you what they have. I'm not hearing you, sir. I'm not hearing you clearly. You're saying something, and it's as if you want to accuse me, accuse the police. I made a statement earlier about resolving the issue. Are you willing to come to the station, or I'm supposed to come there?
So those of you who are asking whether justice is a possibility that this will slip through the hands of justice, I can understand why people feel so.
Exactly.
Well, Chin, this is not cult-like behavior. The man is this is more kidnap behavior.
Right.
You understand? So still, this is no sign that there's cult behavior going on.
Well, my angle wouldn't be that this is cult-like behavior. My angle would be that this is someone who is respected enough for police to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I see what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is not a local fenke pastor where there's a try local thing in an open lot.
And you know
this
how
is
he got his respect?
Who is known.
Do you know how he got his respect? Him have money.
Exactly.
Him have friend in very low places where them they call high places. When Portia Simpson do a kiss him pan in cheek. Tell me, the Prime Minister of Jamaica hug up this man.
Farmer.
I kiss him round and years round here, so. How that go?
718-554-8598. I am welcoming you guys to jump back into the conversation now as we connect the pieces here. I just want you to be more informed on different aspects of this whole situation, more than you just hearing say somebody throat gets slit, somebody throat gets slit, and somebody gets shot and blah 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 blah. Right? So these are the things that you need to know.
Right. And further to that, now there are also other former members who have who have come forward to say they reported to the police about nudity and child abuses taking place at the church long time ago. But it appears no action were taken. The police is also now admitting that it appears several of their officers are members and have launched a separate investigation as to why the cult leader often got police escort from the airport to his home whenever he travels.
So this man is a bishop, quote unquote, Doc B, right? When he lands, he gets a police escort to wherever he is going.
Francis
right?
does the same.
Now, hold on a second, right? Hold on. In the midst of all of this, we also need to acknowledge the fact that this man has police officers who is also a member of the congregation, right? In the first reports that came out, one of the ladies said, right? Remember, in the first results that the first information that came out, one of the ladies said that she was entering the church when the woman's throat was slit, right? And she said that she knew something was wrong because she saw two of the very closest people in the church scaling the fence to leave the church. One of which was an officer. Did I get that correct? No, the officer never run. The officer stayed. The officer stayed. Wow. So basically, when the lady walked in, the bishop, Your Excellence,
His Excellence.
Yeah, His Excellence
Not
was in His Excellence, Jabi, was in attendance with his right hand, who they say is a police officer. Yes. The woman decided that something not right because after the throat was slit, she was on her way in, and two of his best delegates were scaling the fence to leave. So she realized that something is not right here. She took away herself.
Yeah. No, Chin. She take away herself.
She take away herself. Call her alive. Call her alive. Call her alive. Call her alive.
I'm live. Good night, Ken.
Good night.
Yeah, I want to make a statement. Just to big up yourself, okay?
Big up.
Yeah, I want to make a statement. All right. New Testament was first written in Greek. The New Testament was first written in Greek, or text, within the spirit of the ancestors. The Greek Empire is before the Roman Empire. And the word occult means evil. There's nothing demonical about the word occult. The word pastor means shepherd. And shepherds lead the sheep. And sheep are one of the dumbest animals on the earth. There is the last letter come in the English alphabet. So the word Christ, when I hear gangster pastor after the word Christ is the anointed one.
The title.
The title is anointed one.
The Messiah, yeah.
The Messiah, which is the word Christo, come from the Greek word Christo, which is the oil.
No. Not from the Greek word. Christ was in the motherland. CRST. There was no I in it. The one that gave up yourself for the greater good of humanity. Before the European them swing it round and say CHRIST.
No, so here we're not arguing about it. Y'all
Christianity before Christ.
You're all are arguing language. Language evolves.
We're not arguing the answer.
There was no English in ancient days. We know that, right? English came from England. Okay? So we're not talking Babylon language right now, not born Bible.
No, Roman language, brother.
Then you
Babylon
talking of your
3,000 years ago, and we're not going.
So talking of the language there, since we're not born English and Queen James.
Call you alive.
Greetings, family.
Greetings.
All right, so just allow me something. Bookman's prayer. The God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us life, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roll, our God who was here here. You who are in the clouds, who watch us from where you are. You see all that the white man has made us suffer. The white man, God asked him to commit crime, but the God within us wants us to do good. Our God, who is so good, so just, orders us to avenge our wrongs. It is our good God who will direct our arms and bring us to victory. It is our good God who will assist us. We all should throw away the image of the white man's God, who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that sings in our heart. Bookman's prayer at the Bois Cameron Voodoo ceremony, August 14, 1791, call to action that launched the Asian Revolution, which started on August 22nd, 1791, and which culminated in January 1st, 1804. So,
you're beating up on Obia, which is equivalent to voodoo in there. But guess what? The only time that black people, the first republic on planet Earth, in which the French, the English, the Spaniards, and the Americans, black people call upon their own voodoo god and deity and overthrow the white man. It wasn't Christianity that they used. It wasn't Islam that they used. So why everybody beating up about Obia? Every time that black people try to liberate themselves, whether in Brazil, Nani and the Maroons up there, they call upon their own God. Where the people, the working class, the grassroots people fought and win. When Bob Marley sing, and I don't liberate Zimbabwe, Sepita Zimbabwe, it was also the Africans in Angola, Zimbabwe, the frontline state, who call upon their ancestors and liberate them. Outside of that, it will be the Russians in 1917, which used communism, or Mao in China. But thinking of black people, we call upon our sacred ancestors that we liberate, not Christianity.
All right. Carla, you're 100% correct in calling on your ancestors. However, there's a distinction between divination and Obia. Obia is a negative approach where you do things to harm each other, whereas divination is when you call upon your ancestor for processual tradition where you can advance in prosperity. There's a thin line between the two, but there's indeed a distinction between the two.
So when I call upon an ancestor, dead people not call?
I don't do the word ancestor. I hear the word. You see, hold up now. Cess is cesspit and cesspool. I call upon the ancient. In a Rasta, them say, yes, I ancient, yes, ancient. No success for I, because success is subfecal. Because cess is cesspit and cesspool. I would say English is what here. English is where there. I have thousands of years of words and sound in a language before the English. When I make a university in my motherland, there was no basic school in Europe. I make the first university in Europe in the south of Spain, right there near Morocco, named Salamanca. I make the next one in Granada. And make air conditioning in Europe. And pave the road in Europe with brick, with street lamps at the side. Teach the European them mathematics. Greek and Rome use letters for numbers. How it go? V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, M is 1,000. So if you have V, X, L, M, C, then equivalent to what me just say what it kind. What them say that way it mean. So I brought mathematics and language into Europe. The first monarch of Europe was black people. The first god in Greece was Odyssey, a black queen. Sister Sherry, black queen was worshipped in Europe. The word Europea is a black queen, just like the word California. California is a black queen again. There was time in the world when the black woman is God, goddess, just like Makeda of Saba, of Sheba, Queen Balkis, Queen Candice, Queen Madonna, and Child. It was in the 1500s when Justinian, the Pope of Rome, ordered Michelangelo to change the black portrait into carcass white. Yeah. Other than that, the whole Europe worship the black woman and the child. So that's why I ask Gangster Pastor about the color of Christ, because most black people, even here in America, say Christ is a white man. So I could knock that in, even the caller a while ago, say from our own vibration.
Yeah, but you see, I vibration still is what really allow Haiti to be free, as the brethren say, because the Asian Revolution was based upon the Asian them not embracing the God of the oppressor, but to go back in them own anciency, in them own anciency, to look forward into their own essence.
Remember, say, send Bookman into Haiti to go teach them about the war there, where them a fight the Spanish.
But as you see,
we got to go to a break. We're coming up to the top of the hour. I'm going to talk back to you guys on the other side of the 11 o'clock hour. I think this is great conversation so far, but I want to get some more calls in. The phone lines are blazing. And you see all the things there. We have so much more information still to give you guys. I don't know if we can do it in an hour, but we're going to do our best. So we'll be right back. It's SoundChat Radio. We have conversations that nobody else has. And that's what I love about what we do here. And we give you a chance to be involved in the conversation. We'll be right back.
Some people have conversation. We have reasoning. Some people have conversation. We have reasoning. This is the SoundChat radio station. From station to station, we come to rule the nation, I pray thee. Why do the people rage and the people imagine of such vain things? False people have set themselves against SoundChat and against us anointed saying, now come let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cards from us. Your leader seated in his heaven shall laugh. SoundChat shall have them in his region. For then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex with them in his soul's pleasure. Because you have I set thy kings upon the holy mountains of Zion. I will know the clear decree. SoundChat Radio hath said unto thee that thou art thy sons and daughters have I begotten thee. No axe of fire and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. Jah shall break them with a rod of iron. SoundChat shall dash them in pieces like a potted vessel, I say.
Welcome to another big conversation here at SoundChat Radio, man.
That brother that know him Bible though.
Jayut.
Watch how you bird off the boss, you know.
Jayut. 718-554-8598 is that number in the studio. It's the last lap, so I want to get in some great comments, some great conversation. Call you live. Call you live.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yes,
you
I can.
Hear me?
Yes, I can.
Listen to me. The first national hero and perhaps the first international heroes of our ancestry enslavement, okay, is the Jamaican Maroon. Let me repeat it, Tono. Is the Jamaican Maroon.
Say it again.
No. When the Jamaican Maroon grass clot up the English oppressors, okay, during enslavement, the English oppressors had to ask the Maroons for a throat. Them go down on their knees and beg the Maroons for a throat. Hold on, man. Let me make my point, man.
Talk, brother.
You make all type of people, come on. Let man make them point. So listen to me. When a truce was being made in 1738, okay, you know what Captain Chief could just say? Instead, and this is where the crux of the story is, with all we are going tonight, Captain could just say, under no way under the sun, Christianity must be part in any way the Maroons them live. And I bet you black people problem is, you know why? I will bet anyone I don't know on the panel right now to show me somewhere and treat Mama Earth anywhere Christianity has been given to our African people. You tell me where is the prosperity of our people? Is murder, mayhem. So come now to this conman. That the bishop, the pastor, a conman that. Okay? Come now to the conman. The conman realized that this Christianity which was imposed on our people, he can use it and he can and make money off our people, which is why he do. But because also in our mental issues, he carry to another level where he want to hurt the people and by blood sacrifice.
But you're saying...
One second before me go. You notice one woman come on and say, hear this, start When the parents are on facts, you notice one woman say, she have a relative when the relative are bleed. When the relative are bleed, and the conman Bishop Favor, hold on again. On the talk, on the also have a clip where him say, him go meet up with some maroon. So what happened, when he do the so-called phobia work, him go to the real spiritualist. And the real spiritualist tell him what to do, and him do the work, and the work come out the way it's supposed to be, because on could have deal. We the real African people, not the weak Africans them what about. We the real African people, we are spiritualists.
So hold on now. Here, Master. You said that anywhere Christianity go, poverty follow. That is not true. Because once again,
himself a black people.
Well, black people choose. It's not true either, because unknown to many, the Bible speaks more about money than it does salvation. The parable of the talent in Matthew 25 is about investment. The one who was given 5 talents is not the talent to dance or sing or play instrument. It's a monetary coin, and he invested it and doubled it. So did the one who got 3. The one who got 1 buried it, which is equivalent to putting it in the bank, and gave it back just as it came. So the Bible talks about how we as a people, and it's the same Christianity that's offered to white is offered to blacks. So why is only blacks poor offer Christianity and white?
Not really, gangster pastor. As I say again, the translation of the book.
No, the same book the white and the black get. The same bad translation what you are talking about.
All right.
So the white man prosper from it and the black man poor.
Does the black have the Maccabee books?
Does the white have it?
Yes, them have it.
No, they don't.
We are talking about they don't.
They have the Apocrypha, man.
They don't. They have the
Apocrypha.
Listen,
the Apocrypha is what you call Maccabees, where you have
revised standard version of the Bible, having 4 books of the Maccabee, Judith and Esther, Bel and the Dragon,
Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah. Ecclesiasticus is in the canonized.
But them take it out when it reached the colonies.
And that's the riches there.
But
that's the riches there?
It's more than riches.
Oh, but my address what the call last time said anywhere Christianity goes to black people is poverty.
But remember this also, and everybody keeps talking about the Bible was used, the Bible was used, the Bible was used. It was coupled with one other thing, illiteracy. They made sure that black people could not read.
Yeah.
They didn't it's not like they gave them the Bible and said, only read this and that, enslave them, Them say, listen, the Bible said this, and guess what? You will never be able to read it. Them kill people for reading. They make sure you can't read it.
Why first set of people take over Jerusalem? What were their names? The Canaanites, the grandson of Abakush. Ethiopia is Cushland. Before the Greek called it Ethiopia, it was Cushland, Meroe, Nebala, them ancient tongue there, right?
Right.
So Canaan went and built Jerusalem, and it was taken from them through badness. To this day, them push them all the way down into Gaza.
But in the Bible, them use under that.
That was before the Bible.
That was before the Bible canonized.
Well, that's what I say before. Then you may say now who was the first. That before the book, may I tell you about?
Oh, I was addressing the book.
So where the book written about more than anywhere? Now Jerusalem. Now Jerusalem, and the only time it mentioned Greece and Rome is murder and kill and mayhem and slavery.
Right.
When it mentioned Ethiopia, I say Ethiopia, where the land where the gods love to be. So it will show you the purity of Ethiopia. And Jerusalem is this that shining city where the Canaanites go build and gangsterism come take it over. I'm not talk you gangster.
Okay.
I talk one different kind of badness.
Yeah.
All right. Let me say this before. Let me say this.
Yeah.
When Hezekiah was going on his knees trembling, when the Assyrian them assembled 500,000 soldiers moving on Jerusalem, Taharka was an Ethiopian Kush who rode thousands of miles from Ethiopia into Kemet, where them call Egypt. I unite the forces of the north and the south, because Ethiopia is the south, Kemet is the north. Go across the Sinai, rode into Jerusalem, and say, Hezekiah, fret not, them boy they are joker, make them come. And when the Assyrian come, a Taharka the Ethiopian who slew them. You see what I say? the falashu, when them falashu is a derogatory word, which is the black Jews.
Better Israel, them call them.
Better Israel. Say the word again. Better Israel. Don't let the last one. Fulani. Better Israel Fulani, where you find the black Jews in Nigeria and in Ghana. All right. In that realm, the black Jews been running them region there for long until Netanyahu now, the gangster they now, I try to get rid of them. Murder and kill, send them into Jericho in the barren land, have the woman them and not prostitution and all these kind of things. For degrade or degrade black people's truthful rights. Because what is Jerusalem? Jerusalem is not the Middle East. That is northeast of Raska. Jabi, the word Africa is a white boy from Italy when named Spiculus, Publius, Cornelius, Africanus, like Brutus. You see? That boy who have the province near Tunisia named Afrique. So
Sound station.
Listen.
An Afrique sound station.
But listen, we're getting some great information here. Those of you who care to listen and can further do your research. But I also promised that in the 11 o'clock hour we were going to talk about some of the signs, and we were going to say whether there's a thin or a thick line between cult and church.
And you see that 11 hour is important, because that's when the man said the ark are ready.
He said it would be ready in the 11th hour.
Yeah.
So let's get into that conversation. Gangster Pastor, you being a pastor, what are some of the signs that people should look out for when trying to distinguish cult and church?
All right, so people join cults because they're looking for love and they're looking for acceptance.
People join church for love too.
Exactly. Right? So when you're looking for love and you're looking for acceptance, and this song says looking for love in all the wrong places, is what happens, is what reaches people. But the signs, people need to find socially acceptable solutions to their problems. Not deviant solutions. Don't make nobody tell you about drink blood and do this and do that. There are socially acceptable solutions to problem, but people don't want to lead them.
What are those things? Because suppose somebody's listening now who's in a church, but they're really in a cult and think it's a church. What would those signs be? Some of those odd signs that would allow somebody to know that they're actually, in a cult-like organization.
Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, there are things that once the person is trying to identify themselves as supreme deity or anything like that, trying to take any divinity and put it on themselves as the person and trying to get people to worship them or look at them as some specific way, say in a wrong place.
I want sexy little son.
Well, that is a big thing.
You should know from them.
That is a big thing.
Yeah.
All of these people bring them son, go get this man a molest and all them something there.
What about this? Sorry to cut you. What about this? What about when the pastor starts to insist that you empty your accounts?
Then
when
all
the pastor
them
starts to ask you for your wallet.
So let me because I like to use the book that. And you see, I think the more we read the book, the more we'll accept it. But even offering, right? Paul says on the first day of the week when you gather together, make sure you collect your offering. And church people stop there, so. But the rest of the verse says, so that when I come, there will be no more collection. Paul was collecting to help out from the Corinth, which is a metropolitan city, to bring some money to help out the Jerusalem church, which is a poorer city. Now, church people take that verse and say, okay, every Sunday don't come through an offering. That's not what Paul says. He says, because you're already meeting on Sunday, just go and put on some little things so when we come, there's not a rush. So we need to get to the book. We need to understand the book and stop make some people interpret the book and I say, yo, no, for true every Sunday. And that's what the Bible says.
So the money that people are giving in church, it's not biblical then?
It's not biblical in the sense that it's not what the Bible says. How they're using it is not how the Bible says it. Now, should the pastor be taken care of? Yeah, the same way how a teacher should be taken care of, a doctor should be taken care of. But a robbery are going on in a church.
All right, you and I had this conversation before, and I'm glad that other visitors other guests are in the studio. I was saying to you that I don't believe that the pastor should be so well off. I mean, I believe that the pastor should be so rich and so comfortable when the congregation is poor. Now, I don't know if it was you or one of your affiliates that night that said, no, man, pastor for well off and pastor for rich.
I think it was a gangster guess. Yeah, but that is based on condition. I mean, there's nothing against riches. Let's not deny anyone riches. I wish that everyone here should be rich. You understand? Regardless of your profession. But it's how you get that. How do you gain those riches? Is it ill-gotten gain? Are you manipulating people to get that riches? You understand what I'm saying? That's where the problem is. That's exactly where the problem is.
Again, one of the things that everybody, like if you're saying one of the things you said earlier, Chin, when I'm asking you to empty out your bank account, the book is clear.
Yeah.
10%. If you're hold on. If you're going to do something, if you want to follow what the book says about tithing,
I'm against that 10%.
I don't argue with you in a GP, but I'm just saying if you want to follow what it says about what to give, 10%. Nobody's supposed to be telling you empty out your bank account.
Madness.
It's madness.
Your family comes before the church. Pastor not tell you them things.
All of them.
Your family comes before the church. Your family is your first ministry.
The problem is this, and if you're talking about between church and cult, anybody who's in a church, the manual for the church is the Bible. If you want to know how the church is supposed to run and what the pastor's supposed to be saying and what the pastor's not supposed to be saying, you have to look in at your Bible more than Psalm 23, Psalm 35, Psalm 100, and Psalm 91, and actually read and see what is required of the pastor and required of yourself.
That's it.
Then you will understand, then you will know what's going on. It's like anything else.
Chin, which man save the money enough for rich?
I the gangster pastor.
Gangster pastor, Chin, you know the wealth in a building here? And Chin?
Talk to me.
In our basement.
Show me a way.
Well, up in our basement, you want a recording studio down there, brother? Yes, brother. Because after you don't talk up here, so the engineer for down there say, read him. Yeah, and then you put on the word. Because one thing with the word, you can't talk till thy kingdom come. You say if you not on a beat, mix, harmony, and shot to the four corners of the earth, no wealth no make. That's why Bob Marley them things stay so. Bob Marley say when Desmond Decker shot a place, him a welder. And Desmond Decker say, yo, me love how you are home, you know. Me carry you go one place. And that was Beverly's. Jimmy Cliff said that too, you know. Pan the era Jamaica. That me kind say them man, you know, never fight against one another. The man carrying the man and say, yo, hear that youth here. And that's a Bob Marley get him foot in at the door. But it after them time they are China alone have studio. Black man on the studio. Mr. Coxon dad have to go work at Channel 1 in the Chinaman studio at Maxwell Avenue.
I wanna jump in, right? We have half an hour left now. Still got some grounds to cover. I hope you guys enjoying the conversation as much as we here in the studio is enjoying the conversation. We could talk for another 4 hours because there's so much things that we did not cover. Now, the pastor, your Highness, your Excellence, your Excellence is in custody, right? And I just stumbled upon a video of him talking from jail, from the police station or custody or wherever it is that he is, right? And I want to share that with you guys. I would like those of you to go to soundchatradio.com, right? And press watch live. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do so, right? Because maybe some of you are not close to a computer or whatever the situation is, right? So we can see what he's saying, right? He's talking from prison or jail, and somebody videoed him and I guess put it out. Obviously, that's what took place, right?
Yeah, play a minute of it.
I'm going to play that. And people can go to soundchatradio.com in 5 minutes and actually see who we're talking about and, you know, hear the reasoning from the pastor himself speaking about whatever the situation. Because I'll know him not talk about what him do or why him do what him do.
All right.
Right? So we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. When I say the phone lines are blazing, the phone lines are blazing. Calling you live.
Wow. What a wait. You Bone Crusher here. Boy, you got a full house tonight. Look, I am so glad that youngster pastor is there. At least we have a Christian apologist, because a lot of things about everything that youngster pastor says is right on point. And that man is a deceiver in every way, shape, and form. Secondly, some of the people, a lady was quoted saying that she did not interpret the whole art thing as being literal.
Mm-hmm.
It was, a spiritual reference. But people been asking what symbolizes a cult. Earlier on, Sherry read something, how you can take on all these names, like a strong man, like the ultimate person, and as though there's nobody over him. And when you start to present yourself in that fashion, you see, there's more to his name. That's the name he gives himself. He's Crown Bishop, His Excellency. You understand? Crown Bishop. Never heard of Crown Bishop yet. So he's the maximum leader, and he's at the top. I don't even think him have a board that he's answerable to.
All right. 718-554-8598. The phone lines are blazing. We're going to take a few calls before we get to the video. And by the way, the people on the radio will be able to hear what was said if you cannot watch the video live. Call you live.
Yes, I just want to say, bless up my in the whole time.
Bless up.
To Jen, Gangster Pastor and the whole crew. I'm enjoying the conversation, all of the history, the Bible and all these things. I just size the nastiness with the soul call. Enjoying the conversation.
All right. Give thanks, brother. 718-554-8598. That's the number in studio. Give us a call. We're taking a few calls before we go to the video. Call you live.
Please and blessings, family.
Yes, bless up.
I'm talking about drinking out goat head. Is that what you Christians do? You pass around something as you're drinking the blood of Christ and eating his flesh. Is that what you people? Is that cannibalism?
No, it's not.
Is that cannibalism?
No, it's not.
To eat a person's flesh and drink his blood.
But
explain, Pastor. Explain.
Okay, it's not cannibalism, but it's symbolism. So you got the ism mixed up.
Hold on, caller. Let him explain, because I think some other people may have the same question that you have.
So basically, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word became God. The Word was God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. All right. Without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sin. There was a time when there were animal sacrifice that was given, okay, every year, annually. Now, what happened is that he gave himself, and he says, just to remember what I did for you, you take these emblems. It's an emblem. It's not cannibalism. It's an emblem that this represents. You're not eating it. This represents my body, and this represents my blood.
Hello.
Call you live.
Yes, sir. May I join in the conversation?
Sure you may.
Oh, thank you so much. There are a lot of questions that were asked, and I wish I had the opportunity to answer them for you. I would like to ask the man who called himself the pastor, what is the definition of Bible?
What is the definition of Bible?
Yes.
What is the definition of Bible, Pastor?
Well, I think that they answered that earlier. It's a combination of books. The Bible means book.
Well, to make it clear, it's a collection of religious writing, right?
That compiled to make a book.
Yes, but who are the people who are inspired to write these books? Because remember this King James Version was the last one, the last Bible.
The King James Version was not the last, nor the first, nor the second. It's only one Bible. It's a translation.
Yeah, we know that, sir.
Okay, then if you know it, say it.
I'm saying there were thousands of Bibles before King James translated this version.
You just said that you know that it's only one Bible that has been translated in many different languages.
Gangster Pastor, the King James version is the last translation.
The last translation,
okay.
But the King James version.
Continue, caller. Continue.
Yes. And the reason King James translate his version is not for the benefit of Christianity.
You guys don't understand what translation is.
What do you mean? I don't.
Translation is to take from one language to the next. All right, make your point though.
Book to the next. I'm saying King James were in a bad financial needs. He needed money because he was the king of England, Scotland, and Ireland, and they had several uprisings and wars. So he had to create a book to make money. So he created this book, and his slaves, which were the African people.
So may I say that you stop calling it a translation then and call it a new book? Because I don't think you understand what a translation is.
Call you live.
Hello?
Turn on your radio and listen to your phone, please, caller.
Okay, man. Good night. This is a really big issue and a really good topic. You know, one thing I would have to say, for black people to come out of the hole, we have to educate yourself and depend on ourselves to lift ourselves up. Whenever time people are vulnerable, other people take advantage of them.
True.
And that's one case what happened. But you see, one of the things is that what Christianity teaches that is going to be a help from up high. Believe me, it not happen. It will come from education and believe in yourself and rise out of your slumber and out of poverty. You know, there is a little thing that me note. Jamaica most church per square mile, and almost say most crime per square mile. Brooklyn, 10 church per one block, the crime in them area high. Long Island no church, low crime rate.
Long Island no church?
You have to look for certain things and see how it run parallel with each other.
All right, caller. No, what he's saying, no churches mean less churches. Right? 71855. Listen, you two people are very touchy.
No, but talk what it is.
Gangster Pastor and Iron Vice get touchy when you step on the church con. You know where it go. Right? But nothing is to be taken personal. Let me say this though, people. I hope that you got to soundchatradio.com and you're now watching, because I want to drop a video of His Excellency.
Is
His Excellency, talking from the jailhouse. Go ahead, Dot B.
No, Gutenberg, the dude who invent the printing press. He invented, and the first thing in print on it is a Bible, to help contribute to that brain rust. But get to your question, which you say you want to do in this final thing. There's not much distinction between cult and church. One of the biggest cults in the universe today is the Catholic Church.
Yes.
One of the most filthiest cult is in the Vatican.
Facts.
That
is facts.
So if we are going to talk about cult, we have to start right there, sir.
Javi, could you pronounce that word clear for me with the family in Greece? No. Is it Gutenberg or Glutenberg?
Gluten.
Glutenberg.
Yeah, because it's glutinous.
Yeah, and glutinous. Yeah, I want to hear that word again. Glutenberg family.
Do you agree, Gangster Pastor?
No, I definitely agree with the last statement that Doc B made, because but what has happened is that.
So we gotta agree then. If you agree with Gangster Pastor and Jesse Gender,
with Doc B and Jesse,
yes, with Doc B and Jesse, Doc B and Jesse Gender.
I never agree with the Gangster Pastor.
You never agree with the Gangster Pastor, right? Sherry, do you agree? Because I know you're a church person as well. Do you agree that is the cult of cults?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. So then,
definitely,
can we then? Iron Vice, also, are you in agreement? Catholic Church. Right. So the Catholic Church is hailed and recognized as a church.
No, the first church.
As a cult.
Within the Babylon system.
But they are looked at as a church, correct?
Right. You're right.
And some people have them as a very high respected church, those who don't know the history, right? So then, can we not say that there is, in fact, a thin line between cult and church?
Yeah, there is.
Can we not assume that there is a thin line between culture
Sometimes
and
there's
church?
no line at all.
Sometimes there's no line at all.
That in this instance.
718-554-8598. I'm going to take another call, and then I would like to go to the video. Caller, you're live.
Yes. Hello?
Yes.
Yes. A lot of people are saying a lot of things about the Bible and if the Bible is true, but there's one part in the Bible where God says that from the Holy Scripture that God will give people that are not with Him strong believers that will make you not believe. Okay, and only God can change your mind, not people. And that's what the Bible says. You can come to God by God changing your mind. That's what the Bible says. So when people go, oh, well, your ancestors black and white, where does black and white came from?
Illusion. Illusion. And Bob Marley addressed that issue clearly. Until the color, Haile Selassie.
You get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Haile Selassie addressed it clearly.
Who talking right?
The gangster talk.
Gangster pastor.
Yeah, man.
You call the boss name a while ago, right? you say Bob Marley, right?
Well, I went above him. I go Haile Selassie.
All right.
All right.
I say no.
But let's make the point.
His Excellency. I'm big up what you say.
Yeah.
Who's the most powerful man in the history of Jamaica? Now, Bob Marley. We bring the whole world to Jamaica.
Right. But that's not the point.
Pull up now.
That's not the point.
Pull up now, you not listen to me.
Yeah.
Don't Bob Marley a Rasta.
Yeah,
when my
it's
sister
different
Angie
point.
say, all right, my brother, what is the solution? What is the remedy to fix all of this problem? No Rasta.
Did you hear what the question was, though?
Of course, you heard the question.
The question was black and white.
Yeah.
Haile Selassie said until the color from man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes.
Where did he say?
At the Geneva conference.
Which year?
Yeah, go down in a history. I'm trying to make a point.
That's not important. Which year?
1963. That's not important. The point is that we get stuck on black and white.
You know, so that was right before the World War
But
II.
you missed the point.
No, I miss it.
You're stating a lot of unnecessary facts.
No, brother.
Can I get to this video because I know people are waiting on it, right? Again, 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Great conversations here at SoundChat. And when you have so much knowledgeable people in one room, sitting around one table with a mic in front of them, you know that it's going to go back and forth. And I know some of you are entertained by it. And big up to Congo Jesse.
Bomber drop.
Because you know more time, Congo Jesse just goes in. So today him kind of, him a pass it round the table. Him said, Dub Master, tell him, say, don't go up there and take over the team.
Don't stray from the stay course.
Stay course.
Stay course.
Big up to Chris the Dub Master, man. So, here's a video. You see if you can put this video up. This is the incarcerated. Well, he doesn't look incarcerated. Hold on, Yosh. Hold on. He's in the station. This is the pastor, and he's talking about his situation. The video is playing. I need to get some sound from it. 12 is up.
That is what the rapture is.
Are those of you hearing him?
No, we're not hearing him.
You're not hearing him yet. Let me see if you can sort out this technical difficulty for me. You hearing it? Okay, start it over from the beginning then. So maybe we can't hear it in the studio, but you guys can hear it outside. Maybe that's what's happening.
Has built his great house, and he is. Rapture is the reaping.
No, but you said 9 o'clock you have to open at the heart.
Rapture is raptus, which is rape, torture. That is what the rapture is. I come with salvation. I do not come to rape my people of their freedom, of their breath. You have to pay in this nation to walk your footprint
So let me do this for those who might not be able to make sure everybody's hearing it, but you guys see. So here's a good thing about the video. You guys can see this man, in the jailhouse, right? And you can judge however his treatment is and whatever is happening with him from seeing.
Sachin, Bellevue lock?
No.
And now let me play the audio for those of you who probably didn't get a chance to lock on to our SoundChat radio and you didn't hear the audio.
And the rain comes, but you know what just at 9 o'clock you are going to the heart. I am the Catherine Peak. I come from St. Catherine. That's why you gave me water from where I come from. St. Catherine, Jamaica is where I was born. I have fulfilled all things. At the age of 9 years old, the angel of the Lord came and spoke to this body and asked me if I was given eternal yes. I am given eternal yes. I came as Jonah the waters, but they mocked me and they scoffed me. They surrounded me and they looked at me and said, who is this man? Because man, God was tabernacled in man's seed of men. I carried the government in this form. I am born in Glengoff, Victoria, the year of jubilee and victory. What happened? Oh, hospital, mat. They made my life a mat. I suffered, I bled. Look at this night when I came to call all of my sheep, the stray sheep from the 12 tribes and nation. The thunder comes, the cloud comes, and the rain comes. But you did not believe my report. I am the fountain of life. I am the Catherine Peak. I come from St. Catherine. That's why you gave me water from where I come from. St. Catherine, Jamaica is where I was born. I have fulfilled all things. At the age of 9 years old, the angel of the Lord came and spoke to this body and asked me if I will give the eternal yes. I have given the eternal yes. I came as Jonah the water, but they mocked me and they scoffed me. They surrounded me and they looked at me and said, who is this man? Because man, God was tabernacled in man's seed of men. I carried the government.
So that is the audio. That's the audio of him speaking in the church. I mean, in the police station.
Yeah, the church.
Right. Well, that's him speaking. Well, speaking in the police station, what he would normally speak in the church. And he's describing to you who he is and his special powers. And
in one word, madness.
You believe he's crazy?
I'm definitely good, man.
What I would like, though, is for us to give him the opportunity so he can list all of the collaborators from high and low. Because if you get rid of him, you'll never know who the collaborators are, whether it comes from the Governor General, whether it comes from the Prime Minister, whether it comes from some of our illustrious musicians, wherever it is. We need to know who the collaborators are to really get to the root and the crux.
First thing I said to Chin, Dr. Omar D. Gravis was in a picture with this man, the Minister of Finance. You hear me tell my brother? What the Minister of Finance do with that boy?
Finance are big guns.
You can't watch picture though. You can't interpret
brother,
picture.
not you can't show me the company. I tell you who you are.
Then you will take some picture and that word.
Hold
them
on,
words that
you
come
think
back
a
from
man
hand.
can't take a picture with I?
Yeah.
No,
men can't take the
No,
picture.
hold on. We want to take it a little bit deeper than that. Like I said, we need to get into his head. Because what I noticed, in the United States of America, for example, you have Madoff and you have, which guy killed himself and was murdered in prison?
Allegedly.
Oh, I don't know, the guy that murdered himself.
Stein, something like that.
Yeah.
Come on, Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein was murdered in prison because he had a lot of information to share.
Well, them never want to come
and
out.
they didn't want to come out. So we want this brother here, mad, sane, or insane, to express himself and let us know who the collaborators are. Perhaps we can bargain plea, you know.
So keep
or
talking.
Plea, you know.
Keep talking. You want him to keep talking.
Yes.
Yeah, man, because there's a lot of child sex trafficking happening around the world. Around the world, and there are people that you wouldn't believe who are involved in it.
He lived with 14 young boys, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what they said? He lived with 14
You
young
want
boys.
here.
And let me just, I really wanted to highlight this because there's also the report that one of his closest confidant is a teacher at a government primary school, which is raising red flags about the 14 boys taken from his home, some as young as 2 years old.
What? With them parents there?
That's why we need to.
They said the parents are under the salt water.
I want to say something about this video.
Go ahead.
Honestly, this man is calculating. This man is smart.
Very.
We have to give him that. He is not stupid. The reason why he's acting like this in here is because he's trying to plead insanity and he's trying to appeal to people's emotion.
No, the
This
man mad long time, man.
This is not madness. This is demon. This is evil. This is demonic.
Yeah, but
And
how
this is
Sherry.
if the worst I would say is that he's possessed, if anything else. But one thing I can tell you, this man know what he's doing. This right now is him trying to plead insanity.
A madman couldn't collect so much money.
Him and a madman.
All right, watch
He's
this.
calculated. Him know exactly what. That's why I know why I do know.
All right,
Of course.
But how he's behaving now is no different than how he behaved then. You might not have seen the video. The man have a list of artists. Include, I don't know if Jesse name no in there.
Brother. Brother, listen to the man. Hey,
but hold on, Jesse, hold on. The man have a list of artists that include even Nicodemus. You've seen that?
No.
You who see it?
About wow. So when though?
The man have a list of artists that these men came to warn on and never listen. Capleton, more fire. The man says Sizzler. It coming like him
because he's appealing. That's me. I tell you.
It's before.
It's psychological. He's appealing to the people and the masses.
But this was before jail.
What I did see, though, sorry to interrupt, but what I did see, as you
see
speak about artists,
anything we can catch them, catch
what
them,
I
I'm going
did
to use.
see is him standing in front of the congregation and singing "Dirts Man."
Yeah,
when they get me hot this year, what am I gonna do?
Listen, me, I say, nothing more than. Let me tell you, that is not worse than the government who calling on the artists and when them a try appeal to the inner city youth. Him just using him head like everybody else.
Smart. You know,
He's smart.
This man is a psychopath.
Yes.
This man is a narcissist.
Exactly.
Okay, use it right here.
Let him speak. Hear what I have to say, because a lot of people going to go down with him. If him open him out any further.
Take some of the call.
Once you make the children vulnerable, you need to know.
Call your life.
Big up SoundChat.
Yes, sir.
Big up.
And the craziest thing when me say for a long time with the man do a spit pan the member.
That's the same brother, yeah?
That is, yes. Him spit on them.
Yo, man, go ahead now.
Yes. And then him, who like them idiots. Oh, yeah.
Some want to know who mad if them are him.
And next thing me see another pastor have some people on the pulpit lay down and I beat them with belts.
Beat them with belts.
If them ready. Madness I go on, man.
Another one at Jamaica where Rasta told have the lock. I feed the people them with salt and say I bless them, I bless them.
Who that? A Rasta man, you say?
Yeah.
No, you can't talk about Rasta on the show. Only Christian you can be.
More fire. More fire.
Jesse, you know about that?
Brother, clarify yourself. Where? In Jamaica. Who? Which parish? You can't just come say you see a man under locks. I feed people
but
salt.
You can't come say a man and say I'm a Christian and be church though.
Rasta no name salt, brother. When them people have no Rasta make people have a salt, you know.
Jesse. Remember, you know, Rasta find fault, him say the sea is too salt.
Call it live.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yes, you brother.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things we are like to say still, like in our today's days where like enough people now check on, you know, even man them we say them a Christian and a follow the Bible. It's like one of the things where you always see in the Bible where man say, boy, he come from David lineage, and that should be a responsibility of all Christians to know which part David lineage is. You know, for Solomon, David, they have mainly come down to His Majesty. Now, another thing where them point out in the Bible is the name where him coming up. Blessed is the man who come in the name of the Lord. And then tell you all over, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering the tribe of Judah. And some of the people miss that, or maybe because them so brainwashed.
They're brainwashed.
Another thing what me like to point out real quick, where I think is one of the biggest lie. Well, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm right, but it come in high, see? But I think one of the biggest lie in the Bible is not the beginning where it starts. Is like them tell you say, Christ say, eat of all of these trees, except for this tree, don't eat of it. But I don't think it was a tree. I think him tell Adam and Eve, said enough to have sex until him go ahead. And then this
foolishness. He told them to be fruitful and multiply. So you're one of them when I read, you know.
But this is thousands of years before Adam and Eve. And that's 6,000 years store that, you know. The earth, they have 5 billion year people, the planet for a couple 100,000.
Hold on, Jabi.
Yeah.
We have 7 minutes left in the show. Call it 6 minutes, right? And I want to pass that around the table so you guys can make your closing and, you know, be fair to each other in dividing up that 6 minutes. So let's start with Iron Vice. Start with you, start.
All right. Basically, when we discuss these kind of things, people, you really need to look out for what you're doing and look out for what you're participating in. Again, if you say you want to be a part of a church, and you say you want to be a part of a Judeo-Christian church, there is a manual that can tell you everything that's supposed to go on in there and what not supposed to go on in there. It's called the Bible. Don't make nobody tell you what in it. If you can read it for yourself. That's all me have to say.
And if you can't read, listen to it on audio. But that, you know, cult members, you know, all that the leader need to rope in cult members, all they need is a magnetic personality, problem-solving personality, because these people have issues, and that's why I say the man mad, but the people they're madder, you know, and they come with this perception of caring and loving and this family group, you know, and he's taking in kids, probably under the pretense of a family, you know, or adoption. But then that's the snare. And once these people become ensnared, then, you know, the problem is that cult life for those people who are involved in cult seem normal. It seems normal to them, but it's not normal to those on the outside looking in. So how do you help them? You can't deprogram them, because that's going to apply pressure. They're already under pressure. So we need to come back, Chin, and have a show on how to fix this.
Yeah. You know, you talk about, where you say, kid or goat. Which one of them? Where you say about goat. So goat and kid, now the blasphemous portion of things, because kid come out of the whole essence of satanic worship. That's where it come from. Where one usually worship satanic thing. That's why oftentimes we call our children, say, little devil you, and blase, because we don't understand the root of these things. Back to where I started. Where? Full circle, right? What we say is the Inquisition is critical, because that is where the system started in destroying each other with these rituals of bloodletting and whatever the case may be. The crusade, where I started, was another instance. And I will seal all of that. We will seal with saying that the Catholicism is the root of Christendom and cult worship and behavior, sacrificing each other's through bloodletting.
All right, so, you know, I just want to say that our society, I think, it's going down a path of despair, depression, greed, and laziness, you know, and I think as a result of that, our society, members in our society, they've now become a prime target for scam, for charismatic people, for emotional and physical abuse, because they kind of put themselves in certain situations trying to fix these ills instead of trying to think outside of the box. And people will use things like Christianity, which we see this so-called pastor using, and Christianity is nothing close to what he has said, and it's very easy. What Anvoice has said, there are certain things that you can follow. First of all, if somebody is going to be lauding themselves, that's the first thing to be aware of, you know. And seriously, I'm going to put it out there that right now, our country, our peoples, we need to fast and pray. We need to like kind of zero in on who we are.
Jesse.
All right. The word culture is coming from the word cult. Greece and Rome culture is a man have him wife and yard. When he's going to the cafe, him have a 14-year-old boy on side as him boy lover. You see what me I say? That's the culture of Greece and Rome. You see what me I say, brethren? So when you go study for them theology, that them promote. So these boys, what them call themselves pastor and all these reverend and all, me not a gangster pastor, you know, a radical. These boys are that them pushing the society. That be said long time. When them catch a priest and molest a little youth, them move him to another parishioner for molest more youths. You see me forward from brother? So these are the things we have to say. So Bob Marley come talk the thing. Teach us the teachings of His Majesty. We no want
no devil philosophy.
So why we not devil philosophy? You know, this is where me close. To all the young youths that we are listening. I want some young youth in the 12 tribe of Israel, you know, because I want to know if I won't afraid of that. Bob Marley was a 12 tribe, so does Dennis Brown, so does Freddie McGregor, so does the great Desmond Decker, and Jacob Miller.
Jabby, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I want to close with the words of His Imperial Majesty, and this is, and I quote, "We must stop confusing religion and spirituality. Religion is a set of rules, regulation, and rituals created by humans, which were supposed to help people spiritually. Due to human imperfection, religion has become corrupt, politically diversive, and a tool for power struggle. Spirituality is not theology or ideology. It is simple, a way of life, pure and original, and is given by the Most High. Spirituality is a network linking us to the Most High and to the universe and to each other." Unquote.
Thank you guys so much for being here. And we gotta go talk again on Monday. Thank you so much.